Great. And there's a reason why I'm holding. Not even 12 hours later. Thank you to everyone at Diffusement for splicing aware. So
no one's ever accused you of bias. It's fine.
Yeah, we're good. Can't,
this is like a
one step at a time.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Rel, how are you?
Well, I've no infused jersey, but very good. Good game coming up. Splice tournament, so it's going to be a good one.
All right. Well, Splice versus Aware. I'm going to try something a little bit different.
Okay.
One word. Rel?
Splice.
Courage, you'll nail this.
Intense.
Intense. See, it's so much better from Courage. That's why we bring him up here. But before we get into any more of this and let Rel talk again, let's look at the schedule coming up for this next one. All right, as you can see, as we started this morning, Splice versus Fab. Splice took that in dominating fashion. Then Aware versus Bando, and then Elevate versus Intuition. Those were both 3-0s as well. Epsilon Imperial was the game we just had. Orbit versus Cyclone. But I think there's one game up there that so many people are looking forward to seeing. Infused versus Fnatic. Game of the day. Everybody wants to see this game.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure who I'm rooting for in that game between Infused and Fnatic, but it definitely is one that I think could go either way.
Knowing you, Jack, it'll probably change as soon as you find out who the winner is. So.
Oh, if I get a Fnatic jersey by that time. No. But no, that one everyone's looking forward to. What's crazy is 12 series today. Not only is this a long day for obviously talent, everybody behind the scenes involved, but for the players too. They're watching a lot of matches. Both of those teams actually have like a warm-up series as well prior to that one. I think Infused plays first, then Fnatic, then they have a break series, and then boom, they're into that. That, for me, is really going to set the tone for the weekend, where we get out of the group stages, go into the championship bracket, because that's a matchup that, coming into this, could easily be a championship bracket semifinal match for 100%.
I think that's the crazy thing. These teams will probably match up again, and we'll be talking about the previous match coming on as well. But let's get into the game at hand right now. First of all, we are going to take a look at Aware and their team. All right, Rel, take me through it.
Well, yeah, Aware, we saw them earlier going up against Fab, where they actually took a win there, 3-1. We've got a very strong team, 2 standout players for me in Gfkid, very known online in his presence, always racking up those pro points. But standout player for me, and I think we picked up on this earlier, was Denza, making some incredible plays and really commanding the team.
Well, what I've been loving is every one of these players has an identity on this team as well. I mean, Gfkid is everyone that I've heard talk about, a presence in the past, a name that I have actually seen before, to be quite honest. But Johansson has actually had some good plays as well in the respawns, where this is a guy that they've relied on a lot to get those big entry kills. Someone that, like we just saw with in the last series with Brain, where Brain was the guy also, one of the frontline people, getting those clutch kills, 2-3 pieces. Johansson was doing that in the earlier series, but man, do they have their hands full here. I think the interesting thing with this series as well, Bryce, is this pool is basically decided for who's moving on and who's not. Now they're just playing for seeds, and you know Splice, perfect map count. They're intending to take this series to continue to move on with their dream of going undefeated this weekend.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, let's actually switch over to the other team then. And Courage, you can take me through these guys. Splice.
I mean, this team on paper is arguably one of the best to maybe ever be formed in Europe. You got 2 of the players that got top 2 at Champs this past year, now being rounded out with the likes of Jerd and Madcat. When I first joined the scene, Jerd and Madcat were 2 of the top 3 from Europe that people talked about. You could add Tommy or Swanee is there. As time has gone on, I think this team is going to look better and better. They're already 2-0 this weekend, perfect map count. I don't see that stopping anytime soon. I've got them 3-0ing the series against Aware right here.
I've just got Madcat in the gym by the look of it. Wow, look at those guns.
Hey,
that's some serious
I'll be honest, don't get me all hot and bothered up here. Let's keep focused on the game, or else I will go on a rant about that Madcat.
All right, let's talk about this game. Now, this is a game where, although it is the #1 team, we think Aware should be at least able to give them a little bit of a game. So, how much of a game do we actually think they are going to give them?
Well, I mean, this is it. Aware have won 2 games themselves in this pool, so we know they're capable of taking down some of the competition here. Splice are heavy favourites coming into this tournament, but Aware have the ability to produce something here. Definitely underdogs, but a team that you can't write out.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is that Splice, it hasn't even been close for anything we've seen so far. Yes, this should be the toughest competition they've had yet, but I don't even think Aware are near the same level right now.
No.
Splice are... I mean, we don't have the 4 elite that I would say we had last year. It was that clear cut of the 4 teams that are elite, but...
No, I think this tournament will sort the elite players out. I think that's the thing we're going to find out.
And I think Splice, though, and Orbit are, if there are 2 teams to say that are in the elite right now, it's those 2. So Splice, on a tier above, expect them to fully take the series.
All right, well, I think it's time for predictions for this one. Rel, I'm going to start with you.
I think if I said anything other than 3-0 to Splice, I'd be crazy. So I'm going 3-0 Splice.
Yeah, I'm with him as well. It's been a lot of 3-0 predictions from the analysts.
Yes.
And what, 11 of 13 series we've seen so far have been 3-0, so it makes a lot of sense.
It certainly does. Well, will it be another 3-0? We are about to find out. Let's hand it over to our casters. It's Momo and Mr. X.
Thank you very much, Bryce. And yeah, we've got Splice back on that main stage once again, joining me. Again, once again, we saw a couple of games yesterday. Myself and Mr. X went through the Seed 2 and Seed 1 into Group A.
Yeah, look, I mean, Splice is definitely where we thought they would be, obviously at the top of this group. Aware 2-0, it's a very good story. Aware always puts together a pretty good team, you know, in competitive Call of Duty. I remember them back in Advanced Warfare, had a fantastic team towards the beginning of the Pro League. They had Happy, TJ Haley, some of the rising stars on their squad then. But coming into this one, obviously, with the European lineup, we have Benji, Gefkid, and Denzo, 3 players, how we've been talking about throughout the entire tournament. I do feel like, though, they're going to run into some trouble here against Splice. And our first match will actually be Scorch Hardpoint. Now you're seeing Retaliation and Willie Scorch.
Yeah, it is going into Scorch. So let's get underway. Splice versus Aware, and kicking things off in the mix. It's going to be right down this middle. A lot of action going down. 4-4. And straight away, Splice getting the majority of those kills. Is going to get the start of the points as well. Jerd and Josh combining for a nice triple there. Josh starting 2-0. Someone actually going, oh, wow, that's not what you want to happen. Vance there, team killing Josh straight away.
Yeah, now the one thing we were talking a little bit about, and I know between me and you, is when the analysis guys were talking, and Brycey raised the question, like, is this the best roster that Europe's ever put together? I think they are. I think just, you know, on paper, obviously, they have all the talent and whatnot. They're starting to get better with their teamwork and, you know, just synergy between players. I feel like if you were to make a European roster that could challenge the North American teams, I feel like this one has the best chance.
I think you're absolutely right. And we've had these teams in Europe for quite a while now. We had, of course, Jerd, Josh, you know, the likes of Tommy and Swanee mixed in here. But I think coming into Infinite Warfare, this is, you know, a very powerful 4 and definitely something that can contest in North America. Straight away, though, you do see the majority of that middle hard point going to Splice, and now they have the spawns, the rotations locked down for Turbine. And you know what, on Turbine, you can saturate a lot of points here. You can go a full, you know, 40, 50 points.
Yeah, and Aware rotates early. They don't pick up any of the kills, though. When the hill pops up, it's going to be Josh picking up 2. You saw Vance with 1, and it's going to be Splice getting control of the hill. 30 seconds left on this one. So, you know, if Aware does not break this one pretty quick, the game could get out of hand. You know, Splice would jump up to something about, you know, 75 to 11 in terms of points. So just would not be good for the side of Aware. And when Splice has you in that type of position, it's really just a kill shot, right? I mean, you have to play for that garbage time, and you have to hold hills for its eternity, get the rotations as well. Very difficult, almost impossible to do against a team like Splice.
Well, we talked about it. They started on 11. They're going to end on 11. They didn't get anything from that Turbine Hill. However, they've rotated a lot quicker, and you can see Benji's going to be locking this one down. However, his first to strike is Jerd at the back. Coming in, though, it's going to be traded out by Benji, and still locking down these spawns. It is going to be for Aware. Madcap breaks in with the double, and now, just like that, a click of a finger, a flick of a switch, Splice regain control.
It's just so different from the Millennium roster of last year where, you know, you're relying on Mad Cat and Jerd to pick up these 2 pieces. You know, Tommy and Swanee there in support. Obviously, those 2 guys making big plays as well. But really, a lot of your firepower came from Mad Cat and Jerd. This year, with this roster, it can come from anywhere. I mean, Josh can come in, pick up a big 2-piece, 3-piece. Bands, we've seen the crazy plays that he's made. It is just a very scary team to go against. And right now, they are up 100 points and counting against Aware. Aware doesn't look like they know what hit him here, Mumble. Absolutely. Not looking good.
And those 11 of those 15 points came from the middle, a very scrappy hard point. So as we do go into the second, another rotation straight away, Jerd flanking round to the crane, and now he's going to, I thought he was going to be spotted by 1 there, but he's not. He's going to have full control. There he is, right from the back. It's Benji with the double, and that's a big, big double. They're going to get a little bit control. They've got the good spawns as well, and Johansson can get into the mix. Can this be something to build upon for Aware,
I mean, this is the first amount of hill time for Aware and almost 2 hard points. I mean, right at the beginning of the second hill, they took the first few seconds. Since then, they took nothing on the 3rd hard point. And it has been all Splice. So Aware just trying to make the comeback, trying to make this one somewhat manageable. That's really what you're trying to focus on. Like, you're obviously not going to make this massive comeback on 1 hard point, just not enough points available. You just need to try and, like, churn it down, you know, win 50 on 1 hill, 50 on the next hill. Like, you got to churn it down 1 hill at a time. Right now, though, it is Aware barely getting any time on this hill as well. They got pushed out of it for a second. They're going to take the last 15 or so seconds here, though.
Yeah, it was actually crazy to see. Jerd was actually on the hard point there, and Aware had both controls of, you know, front and back. And Jerd was sat there. He picked up a double. 10, 15 seconds later, he finally gets taken down. But you can see as we go into the second rotation right now, Mad Cat's going to be controlling the middle here, and we have a split of around 100 points, a very dominant start coming in for Splice. But let's go back on board with someone a bit more in the action. Josh will be able to find a couple if Bance doesn't steal all the kills. And it's going to be a third and final, but no, Denza gets the double and now can push on as a 4.
Yeah, but now Splice has an idea of where the players are coming from the side of Aware. They all get taken out on the side of Splice. You know where you're spawning, obviously. It gives you a great indication where the opposing team's coming from. But Splice does not win the fights. It's going to be Aware securing this middle hard point. This is where they took a decent amount of time. When I say decent, it was like 8 seconds on the first one, which seems like a lot to compare to what they had. But now doing a good job locking this one down, trying to mount back into the game. They got to get somebody in the hard point. There they do. Gefkid slides in. He's going to get taken out by Mad Cat. But the spawn's coming in for Splice for this second hard point. So this is a big gunfight here. Jonathan able to win it, but he needs to get back down towards that turbine area.
Yeah, huge gunfight now, so he's going to rotate to the back. This is very, very key that he stays alive. I would have liked to have seen him actually push back, because look what he's done. He's given Josh and Mad Cat a free entry to the back of the hard point. He's basically given this up as, you know, Benji picks up a kill, Jerd's going to trade that out, and look who has control again, Splice. They're one step ahead. They're playing the smart game. Mad Cat's on a 5-kill streak. Let's hop on board with him. He's trying to extend it, but the kill gets taken by Josh. Happy days for Splice, though, as they continue the dominance in game number 1.
Yeah, they were trying to set up a pinch there. That's why you saw the position being given up early by Aware, but at the same time, you can't rely on that to happen. You need to go and make a play. You can't give, you know, the likes of Josh and Mad Cat these great positions behind cover, because they are just going to abuse you with it. 3 kills, make it 4. Everyone dead from the side of Aware. Splice controlling this hard point. 20 seconds left on it. Cannot win it here, but they can definitely win it on this next hard point.
Okay, well, there is one player pushing forward. Bance is the most aggressive for Splice. Can he break through? A wise thing for Bance I'd like to see is maybe just play the time a bit better, but he gets a little bit impatient, should I say there. Pushes in alone, and now Splice will and can go as a squad. Mad Cat 15 and 8, finally does fall. But with 25 seconds away, this is looking very positive for Splice.
Yeah, and with those streaks, I mean, Mad Cat can save those for Drill. Obviously not going to use them here. Drill on the first hard point. You're going to see Josh slide on in. He's able to get one. Has some good from him, locking this down for Aware. So now Aware getting a good hold here on this third hard point. Desperately what they needed.
Yeah, Johansson finds one. Traded it well. Mad Cat and Gefkid, that was the big kill. Mad Cat comes off better with the double, and now he can collect a couple of points. But with the back foot, Jerd and Bance coming in, it's only going to end one way. Mad Cat continuing another 3-kill streak for him. Streaks are available. Does he need them? Probably not, but he has them in his back pocket just in case.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been talking a lot about the respect between, you know, EU and North American players. I think the North American players definitely respect everybody on this Splice lineup. Just the things that Jerd, Mad Cat, and Josh have done in their overall Call of Duty careers. And I think a lot of the North American players very impressed with Bance last year with his fantastic playing at COD XP. It'll be 250 to 94 in favor of Splice in our game 1. Not too surprising for me, Momo, to be quite honest with you.
No, I mean, you guys at home may be thinking that was a crazy game, but myself, Mad Cat with over 2.5 minutes on the hill. And you know what? It was no particular standout for any player. They were all roughly around the same kill death. And a struggle, to say the least, for a while.
No, I mean, just Mad Cat winning a lot of the key engagements. He goes 18 and 11, like you said, with all that hill time. You know, 9 defense, winning a lot of those engagements in the hill, giving his team a ton of time in the overall score. And that's really where you saw the game being, you know, the difference being made, where you saw, you know, in the second hill of the overall game, Aware gets there early, not able to pick up any kills inside of the hard point. Splice comes back, takes it right away. They take the third hard point as well. They're able to just run away with that game.
Well, you could see there, Mad Cat looking so calm after game 1, and you really don't have to look twice at that one. Yesterday, it looks like he's perked up a little bit. He was, as he said, chilling as he came out of game 1. But this is a map and a game, should I say, which really will determine the seeds going into the rest of the tournament. They're playing for, of course, top of the group and second. So Splice, they're seed 1, they're predicted to come out on top, and so far it is business as usual. What a star-studded lineup they have right now.
Yeah, and I wonder if a team like Aware is just kind of happy to be able to advance into the bracket.
Yeah.
And they're I don't know, like, where they go into this matchup. Like, they don't put a lot of pressure on themselves. Splyce obviously wants to take that #1 spot. They're not content with #2. But I think if you're aware, look, you'd be great to make it into brackets. You're okay with that #2 spot. Just trying to get some better practice going up against a team like Splyce in this one.
I think that's it. I think after Aware's previous game, we had an interview with Benji. And, you know, he said, you know, we've done what we came here to do, win those 2 games. Fabi and Bando. And they've done that. Now going against Splyce, they said the pressure's off. We've come here, you know, and done what we needed to do. Can we do any better? You know, everything from now is a bonus. But
You can't.
I mean, I don't like that particular mentality. But it's very hard to go up against a squad
the
like
competitor
Splyce.
inside me hates it. It's like if you come and you're like, oh, yeah, we won our 2 games we were supposed to win. Oh, we're okay with whatever happens. No, you show up to win.
Well, maybe deep down that's what he's thinking. But no, I mean, I completely agree with you. I disagree with the mentality of that. But from the interview, what we saw with Benji, it came across almost.
They seem content.
Yeah, they came across almost like you know, they expect to come into this to lose. But
well,
I mean, most people do. Most people do. But you've got to.
Most people do. You got to at least kind of, you know, have some confidence in your team. Like, hey, look, we're playing well. Like, let's go challenge Splyce. We get that #1 seed. We have an easier time in brackets. Maybe we make some noise in the bracket portion of the tournament. But I think that's the same kind of vibe I got from that interview with Benji. That's the one thing I remember watching it. I was like, they seem just kind of content with going 2-0, and then whatever happens against Splyce happens.
Well, I like the fact that the competitor comes out in you as well in the casting to keep the passion. However, we'll be going into Search and Destroy coming up. Next, we're going to be going on to Throwback. S&D, though, between these 2 teams, it will be a game mode that I would say is probably Aware's strongest, I would go into.
Yeah, and I would probably say this is where Splyce could be most vulnerable in this Search and Destroy going into it. Aware can slow the place down. We've seen them do some nice things in S&D in their previous matchup. So if they were to take a map, this would be it.
Okay, well, getting into things here, Search and Destroy. If you're just joining us, Splyce do take map #1. I believe we've got a little chat with Benji before the game. Let's take a look.
I think the Splyce team is a great team. They're possibly one of the best teams in Europe. And I think it's going to be a great series, a great experience for us to play against them. And I hope we can give them a good series.
Okay, well, actually looking at that video, maybe a bit of a difference, you know, hoping to give them a good series, maybe sneak the W in, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's a little bit of a different take on it than the live interview we got, where he was, you know, right there, you know, talking about giving them a good series, gaining some more experience against the top flight teams, and it'll be a 2v1 right away in favor of Aware. Vance, the only one for Splyce, puts a lot of shot in the player's back, not able to get him through that shield. Now that's giving away his position.
I mean, it has done. However, all he needs to do is defend. There is one player diffusion. He's going to see the legs. He needs to take him down. But no, Denza from behind picks up a double for the round and actually secures round #1 for him. The hesitation, I think, or that first gunfight, that was really the difference maker in that round.
Yeah, and also when he comes over that wall run and you see the shots coming in from Denza towards his back, gives him a little bit of flinch, and it takes his aimer up towards the bridge instead of actually down on the player defusing the bomb. If Denza doesn't land those shots, Vance probably takes that player out defusing, and Splyce clutches up that round, but it'll be Aware taking the first round here in our map #2.
Okay, well, on the attack this time is Aware after they've just secured themselves one round. Let's see. Of course, Denza's actually the one carrying the bomb. I want to jump on board with him. He's been so good in the respawns. He's 2-0 already after round 1. Grenades going thick and then fast. And the plant is already going down. This is a very aggressive push from Aware, and actually to a bomb site we don't usually see.
Yeah, no, you know, they made some adjustments to this bomb site, obviously, to make it more viable, and we see the push coming in right away. Splyce only puts some pressure over by bike path. They leave the barn side of the map completely open, and they come back with a fast retake, though. Benji, some nice line of sight here, able to just jump up over the plant and knock down some shots, and Aware in a 2v4 scenario wipes the floor with Splyce and takes another round.
That shows how powerful getting the bomb down and having that power positions are. We saw them sit back, use a trade, but not enough for Splyce. They were 2 quite quick rounds as well for me. Splyce maybe needs to slow this game down as they go on to the attack. Jumping on board with Jerd. He's going to be rocking the NV4. And it looks like business as usual going towards the A site. That's Bance.
And I think, Momo, it's quite funny. I mean, we can talk a little bit about it, but usually these Slay-heavy lineups, the only kind of downfall of them is their Search and Destroy play. I mean, you're a professional player in the past. Allegedly, I don't think there's any footage of it. But you know, why do you think a team that like is so slay heavy, they struggle in a game mode like S&D?
I think it's because, you know, these rounds in particular, it's about getting the important gunfights. It's not, you don't have a second chance. You're not going to, you know, lose a gunfight and respawn 3 seconds later to be able to take this. But you need to make the smart plays, the intelligent plays, and it is really about that team individuality. And in Search and Destroy, you know, first blood counts for such a lot. If you have, you know, the integration of things like snipers, other weapons on the map as well, I think a lot more kind of strategy goes into it. You know, you don't have that safety cushion of the respawn.
Yeah, I feel like as much as we talk about like, you know, an OBJ, I don't really want to call it an OBJ player, but more just like an in-game leader, like how I think in Hardpoint and Uplink, right, a lot of the top slayers, they know how to play that. I feel like Search and Destroy is a game mode that, you know, round by round, strategies change, classes change, whatnot. I feel like that's where you really need somebody who is just thinking for the unit as a whole. And I feel like that's a lot of what the teams lack sometimes when they come over to fantastic respawn teams. You're so used to kind of running on autopilot, just not able to do that in Search and Destroy. And Splice gets 1 round on the board here, and you see right away, Aware forces a 1v2 scenario, so it'll be Jur, the only one alive here for Splice, trying to make a play.
Yeah, he's in pretty good position. There's the bomb he needs to do something with, but now he's giving his location away. Bullets fired. And you can see utilizing the wall run, the bomb is going to go down at A very shortly. And now the advantage of will, of course, go to the Aware. They have that numerical advantage. They can back off. And you can see they're doubling up back at the bus as well. But Jur's going to use the best cover in the game, of course, the bomb site. But now in a very tricky situation. The call will be made. Aware should be able to clean this one out. You know what? The reading from Jur, he knows exactly where he is going to be. But with 25 seconds, he needs to do something, make a push. Will find them both, but unable to take any with him. 3-1 to Aware. And this is showing a squad which, you know, is so far behind in the likes of a Hardpoint, going toe-to-toe and even doing better in the S&D.
Well, right there, it was a perfect positioning from Aware. You saw Benji keep poking out from the staircase, not giving Jurd easy shots. Jurd knew there was one player playing behind Bus, just jumping up, putting down some shots. He knew he couldn't really kind of force his way around the bomb site because the player at the bus was going to be able to take him out. Ultimately, falls to Benji on the stairs. But Aware looking very good here in the Search and Destroy.
Fancy's going to be the one with the most aggressive. Trophy system finds 2. That's going to be taken out straight away. Just showing, again, how influential sometimes the grenades can be. And Denza's
5-1 start. 4-3 for Benji. 4-3 for Denza as well. It was first blood for Aware, but Josh is going to even things up. Now you see Madcat trying to play here towards the mid-map. It seems like Splice is getting very aggressive here at the beginning of these rounds and just in general, just trying to force action on the Aware side of the map. Just trying to really make this just a gun-on-gun game. Force Aware to just play at a very fast pace towards mid-map.
Big kill from Josh as well. Madcat tagged him up, got the assist, so a real team kill there. But a 3 versus 2 now with the bomb down. Splice have bitten back after losing first blood. Madcat's on the flank, so I'm going to go back on board with Josh to see if he can fend this one out. He's going to have a one-on-one down at Lemon. Drop shot doesn't find him as Denza makes it a 2v2, and now Madcat flanking all the way back here. Where's Bance?
And now Bance is actually set up in the higher portion of the mid-map, so he's actually able to hear players run down beneath him. He's able to get one, and I think Madcat spotted the player below. He's going to be able to take him out. Is Bance towards the middle of the map? That'll be Splice's second round on the board. But that got dangerous for a little bit. You know, Madcat comes in that long flank. You're just not able to spot anybody. Josh falls at one side of the map, and you have players coming from the opposite side in terms of Aware. It seemed like Bance had no idea where the pressure was coming from. Madcat just gets into a right position at the right time. Splice able to put away that round. Now it'll be Aware on offense. See if they can get another win on the board.
Now, Gfkid is a player which, for me, I've known him as a Search and Destroy player. He's 1 of 5 at the moment, maybe struggling a little bit. However, hopefully he'll pick this up in round number 6. Again, we're going to see a very A-dominant push coming in from Aware, but there is one player on the flank. I've got him highlighted just in case he does keep progressing, maybe through bowling. I'm going to jump on board with him very, very shortly. Let's have a look at Josh. Oh, he's been spotted.
And he's trying to line up those shots. He thinks he's free, and he gets taken out behind the bus there. So that would have been a big kill if Josh was able to secure it. Jurd and Bance pick up 1 each. Madcat with another. So just like that, it is all Splice as they wipe the floor with Aware. They'll defuse the bomb and tie this game up.
Yeah, that was great play from Splice, especially to lose Josh. You know, Josh was in a really good position and unfortunately spotted through just the glass there. But as Madcat defuses, they're going to tie things up 3-3. And are we seeing, you know, Splice just answer back here? A couple of rounds on the trot. Josh definitely warming himself up there. They're looking a better team than the first couple of rounds. Of course, stating the obvious, taking the rounds themselves, but really working as a team as well.
Yeah, and Josh maybe was trying to line those shots up behind the player on the bus, see if another player would cross, see if he can get 2 for 1 there. He doesn't get anything. Fortunate for Splice, so the rest of his teammates come through. And now you think Splice actually has all the momentum. A bad grenade there by Jerd. Can't get that one out of the window. But they get first blood yet again, so things are starting to go in favor of Splice now.
Yeah, Josh taken one from behind as well. Again on the flank, he's got the E-Rad, isn't going to find Johansson, but can it be traded out? Mad Cat does do that, and that's what a professional team does so well, you know. Every time they lose one, they'll trade that out, and now Benji left in a 1v2. Bant and Mad Cat don't have the bomb down just yet, and that's the only thing going for Benji right now, but can he get himself in a favorable position to do so? The bomb has been planted.
Well, I mean, obviously, the only way to be able to trade those kills out effectively is getting the first bloods. It really starts at the beginning of the round, and that was when Mad Cat was able to take one out early, but it's going to be Benji. He'll take out Bance, and Mad Cat very far away. Mad Cat, though, 9 and 3 at this moment in time. He actually spots Benji, not going to fire right away. Perfect play there by Mad Cat. Yet again in search and destroy, puts Splice up 1.
Yeah, 3 rounds now on the bounce here, and maybe Aware have been started to be a bit easily readable, maybe, is what I'm thinking. Splicers seem to have adapted to their playstyle, slowed the game down, and really seem to be countering what they're doing. Mad Cat's already hit double digit.
Yeah, and you remember Aware actually went over towards B at one point, and they actually got bombed down, and then they have not gone back to it. They won that round. They have not gone back to it once. They've committed fully over towards A the rest of the rounds.
Yeah, it really just surprised me, that, actually. And you can see once again on that mini-map. Oh, we're going to have score streaks coming in straight away. Denza finds one before Mad Cat answers back. It's going to be the first, tags up the second, so they know that they're planting the bomb, and Bant swoops in for the second kill. And now, again, the numerical advantage favors Splice. Can Denza and Gefkid hold them off? That's the question.
You do get bombed down, though. Favorable position here for Aware. They're able to just watch it from the bus side, but see Denza over towards middle of the map. Needs to take out one here. He's going to lose that, and Gefkid in no position to even check bomb here. Has to get towards the middle of the map. They spot him, take him out. And just like that, you thought this one may be going over towards Aware. Splice is just rolling them these last few rounds.
Yeah, and there you go, a quick smiley face on the wall for Josh. A funny-looking smiley face, to say the least, but yeah. They find the fourth out of fourth there coming back. Splice seemed to have settled into this search and destroy. Josh with the unintentional dab, I think, there, as he takes a sip of water. But yeah, Splice are looking much more comfortable towards the set.
Yeah, and it was maybe something where, you know, Splice, they talked a little bit about it earlier, where, you know, they were just not ready for a game, I guess that's kind of how you would put it. They were just not there, I guess, mentally, and they kind of clicked halfway through. That's kind of what you maybe attribute this to. But I would say Aware kind of is giving them this one a little bit, to be honest. I mean, they just keep going over towards A, and that was the one where Splice was doing a good job defending it. They haven't gone back towards B, where Splice was giving up those free plants.
Now, Josh has actually just used his camo. Unfortunately, doesn't pick up anything, and that's taken down. Gefkid answers for the second, and this is a round where Aware Gaming should come out on top. Gefkid finally finds another and finds his form. Mad Cat left in a 1v4. Not going to happen. The bomb will be defused, and let's not forget there, the camo was used, of course, for Josh. I'm not sure if any other payloads were used at the same time, but positive round for Aware, and they take this to round 10.
You know, right there in the 1v4, the Centurion not going to help Mad Cat. Nothing he could do with that one. And that'll be 5-4 in favor of Splice. So Splice still 1 round away from going up 2-0 in the series, but Aware putting up a much better fight here in the Search and Destroy.
Yeah, this is a team which does excel in Search and Destroy in particular. Splice came out dominant on the hard point, but so far they're being challenged and they're being pushed. Reactive armor is available for Benji, so this should come into play. They'll want to push this to around 11. Let's stay on board into... Look at the middle. We've got Jerd and Josh pushing through. And there we go. First tagged up is Josh. He finds Benji. And the bomb's actually been rotated round, and a clever play. I was going to say clever as the score streaks come in, but Gef's been caught out as well.
I mean, I guess you can't go back to B knowing that Mad Cat has these score streaks, but still, I would have loved to see maybe another B play from the side of Aware. It's one of the offensive rounds I can recall that they win. They go over towards B, they're able to get bombed down and secure it. They don't try it again for the remainder of the game. They end up losing this one 6-4.
Score streak's been on the last one. And again, really aggressive play, positive play from Splice. Had a bit of a slow start, but in the end, it turned up and they showed us why they are that #1 seed.
Yeah, they put it together towards the end of that one, really just kind of led by Mad Cat and his phenomenal play, you know, getting first bloods, picking up some clutches, some nice flanks out of him. He actually goes 13-4 in that one, so a very strong performance from Mad Cat. Now, you kind of look going into the uplink, I don't know where Aware goes here to try and get a win. I don't know what style of play they can kind of force in this Splice team to throw things in their favor.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very difficult, Mr. X. It's a game mode which, let's be honest, Mad Cat, Bance, Josh, and Jerd, they've all played this game mode in particular for a very, very long time. The likes of Aware is here, but I actually think it ends quite punishing. I think this could be a high-scoring game mode.
Yeah. I know we saw Splice the other day. We see the side of Splice just take a huge lead.
Yeah, I'm thinking, you know, we could see double digits for Splice. Whether we can get Aware on the scoreboard as much, we'll have to hold our thoughts on that one. But I think Splice, that the amount of slaying power, and we could talk about this for a second, every single one of them has the ability to drop 30 kills. And that's why so far in this tournament, you've not seen anyone, you know, go crazy and drop like a 50 bomb because they're all performing, they're all natural slayers. They're all almost sharing the work. They're sharing it out. And you're actually one of those people, and I completely agree with Call of Duty. It comes down to being able to slay, being able to, you know, Call of Duty 101. Kill your opponent quicker than they can kill you, and you will take the majority of the maps.
Right, I mean, there's only so much you can do with proper map positioning and great strategies and just different class selection, where I feel like at the end of the day, it all kind of comes down to the slaying. I think really since Call of Duty Ghosts, I feel like that's when things changed. I feel like that's what you need as a team. You need to have those top flight slayers. This Splice team definitely has it. You know, where they can fall, I think probably the search and destroys. I've not seen like really dominant S&D play from them. I'll be interested to see going forward through the tournament once we see them play against the top teams, your Orbits, your Elevates, how they fare in S&D.
Yeah, I think as well a great thing is, you know, these guys have been playing day in, day out, of course, but things like the 2Ks that these guys compete in, and of course Splice have just taken back-to-back 2Ks. You know, they're playing Search and Destroy twice in every series if necessary, if it goes the distance, so they're getting that practice. It was very, you know, it was notorious really in Europe, you know, when I was a player, that people didn't practice Search and Destroy. They practiced their respawns, and they thought, you know what, we don't want to play S&D.
Which I just find ridiculous. Right? I mean, is there anything that you guys would, you know, do at an event or whatnot that you just wouldn't try, like whether it was like a GB match or some kind of like 2K tournament? I feel like you can play pretty much, you know, you're trying different strategies on either side of the map, but I feel like there's nothing like either of these teams should be that surprised about from each other in Search and Destroy.
They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be at all. I mean, these two teams have actually matched up against each other in 2Ks before, so it's not like, oh, we don't want to give our specialist Search and Destroy strategy away. And it's difficult. It really is. But I think the Europeans have learned, and they have started to not only play, but practice Search and Destroy more. And one thing, you know, speaking to the pros as well, they do go back, they do watch, whether it's VODs or anything. And I think over the past 12 to 18 months, it's something they have improved on.
But I love is the logic. It's like, we won't scrim Search and Destroy as a team, but I'll play with pickup teams, Search and Destroy, and just kind of let everybody know my tendencies in different situations. And I'm okay with playing it in the 2K. It's like, you're giving away your strategies and your tendencies anyway. It's like, you may as well just kind of get on the same page with the rest of your team. But Game 3 will be a Precinct uplink. Splice up 2-0 in the series. They get ended here.
Well, uplink and Precinct, these go hand in hand, I think. I actually really enjoy watching this particular map purely because of the verticality of what you can do with all the wall runs, the jumps, the passing. It really does kind of link up nice and well, but a high-scoring game mode is what I'm predicting from Splice. Where they played Fabi, they lost their uplink. It was the one game they looked weak on. It was the one game that they lost. It kind of just all favors Splice right now.
Yeah, it does, and that's kind of been the entire series, but we did see Aware put up a better fight in Search and Destroy, so maybe that carries over here into Game 3.
Okay, well, kicking it off with Bance straight away. You're going to see grenades coming in, jammers as well. Josh is going to get the first blood, and already Benji falling. Bance finding the drone in his hands, which I don't think he expected for a second there, but it looks like they're trying to push this left-hand side of the map. Bance and Josh should be able to double up. If they can make one more kill, this should be a nice, comfortable, maybe one-point play. But as he dances around here, Bance uses the wall runs, those jetpacks, and he doesn't convert. I was almost setting myself up for one there.
No, yeah, Bance misses a one-point throw, and you see it's obviously a little bit easier to connect. It's definitely easier, I may say, to connect on the one-point throws with the change in the goal placement. They move it a little bit to the back of that alley, even out this map, which I think it plays wonderfully now.
Okay, well, Bance is going to have another go at this one. Over and out. He does convert that, and that's the first point on the board for Bance as he picks up not 1 point, but a kill as well. Josh seems to be the one getting in the action, using the ERAD this time, but a double coming in for Aware. Maybe something can play out for them.
Yeah, now Aware, they do get drone control. They're trying to force it down into the street, and they're going to get a one-point toss of their own off, and it's going to be intercepted. And they have nobody there to put this one away. Josh picks up a big two-piece, shuts down any scoring opportunity that Aware may have had during that one. Now that is an unfortunate situation there for Aware. It looks like you're going to put points on the board, then potentially thinking maybe get a 2-point on the way after the interception comes in. Get nothing out of that, and here comes Splice on the offensive.
Bance was in a great position, does get taken down, but very quick plays from the boys on Splice. They turn it around, and they've headed a different route. I love the play from Josh there, just to back off, give his team a bit of space, make the kills, make the plays, and now he can stomp on his way through. And is he going to take his time? No, he's going to secure the easy 2 points, and he's going to get back in that middle.
Yeah, they have teammates towards the middle of the map, although Benji is able to take out Mad Cat. It's a smart play by Josh, just trying to relay these scores together. It's going to be Josh and Bance working in the middle of the map.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be Denza, though, taking out Josh and Jerd, and they're able to get drone control for a second, but Bance there, just the pressure from Splice on the drone, it's too much for Aware to deal with right now.
Yeah, you've seen moments of brilliance all weekend, or week, should I say. Denza has been performing. However, converting those plays into points is going to be difficult. Got Josh passing through the ball, and he's actually going to go for a few kills himself. ERAD in hand, not going to find Johansson, as he does do one better, and now the drone will go back to Bance. They seem to be doing this. They seem to be kind of indecisive of which route they're going to.
I mean, you know, you try and go through that back alley and connect with the one-point play like Bance tried earlier, and you miss. I feel like at that moment in time, you're just trying to spread the defense thin. So you see right now, they have the drone. They're going towards that side yet again, and they have Jerd and Josh in position to pick up some kills.
Okay, well, Splice strong so far. They're going to put number 5 in. Let's jump to a quick listening and see what's going down in the comms.
I've got it. He's already hit. It's bullshit me. Two.
Whoa, let's go, in the ball.
I'll get two.
MB4 in ball. He's got to be head kitchen. It's going to be head kitchen. I spawned back portal.
Watch out, Benji.
I'm holding gas.
He's MB4,
pushing out now.
Stay alive, you have to stay alive, I'm coming across you.
It's one shot, one L. It's really weak, Josh, really weak.
Come with you too.
In the ball.
One bullet in now.
We can ball, dance.
Chill. Try and hold.
Stay alive. Go flank if you want, if you can.
Top cat, one in ball, one top cat.
One's already on our base and one's close.
One shot back on his challenge off the wall. Right, mate, right, take your time. Wait. Big kill.
Ball dead. Did he get one?
He's close. One shot.
Wait.
Literally one shot.
Jed, wait, you heard it?
Yeah, go.
Line down, tag. Nice, good, close, right, mate. Yeah.
Straight.
Close,
on our base.
Big kill. Nice, gonna go for one. Nice, man. He's there.
Close again.
He's good.
He's zig, mate. One shot. Take me to weak.
One bullet, hit him twice.
Where's he gone? Line down. One more.
Take it through ball. Refang.
I got two. Come.
I'm flanking. Woody's back.
I'm flanking.
Take it front.
Gosh, I'm passing you. Go.
No. One on the base.
Other base.
Oh my fuck! I got streaks.
One more, low.
What's he doing?
Just line down. Looking for you.
He's already Z.
In the ball or what?
Z one shot. He's pushed upstairs. Here, he Jerd.
What stairs? In the ball. No, T. He's pushed already. Close. One shot. Two. They're both weak. He's going for one.
We're in set.
Got it.
That's fine.
I'm watching everything.
Ben, don't throw shot there.
I'm going, pushing up, pushing wood. I can shoot this, I can shoot this.
It's 10 seconds. No, wait.
Yeah.
One's T. Hey, take the balls,
pass me. No, never mind, there's two. Two. I've actually got one. Oh, that's fine.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it loud and clear from the boys of Splice. In particularly Josh, he likes to repeat things maybe 6 or 7 times. I heard Z.
I had a teammate like that back in the day, and it was just, I couldn't handle it. Like, I'd hear the same call out like 3 times in a row. I'm like, I get it. There's a guy over there.
I know he's at Z.
I've heard it 4 times now. I understand.
The good thing about Josh, I was going to say, I mean, I used to team with, this is going back like 4 years, and he was exactly the same. He's not lost his energy in Call of Duty at all.
He still has the passion for the game, and you can see it in his play, obviously. I know, fantastic player in terms of just saying he was like an OPJ player kind of last year, really transformed as like a top-flight AR player. So you can see just the passion for competitive Call of Duty and just the willingness to be able to change up his game for whatever his team needs. And right there at the bat, Aware just let Splice grab the drone and throw it in for 1. So not the best strategy there by Aware to just let a free point go in for the side of Splice as they extend their lead.
Yeah, I keep wanting to jump on board with Aware, but it's really difficult at the moment. It just seems to be going all one way, Splice answering back. And Josh, in particular, you could see how passionate he is. You know, a lot of the plays come from communication in this game. You've got to be on top of that. And, you know, the complete opposite. Jerd is a very quiet individual, but, you know, in-game there, vital, kind of precise call-outs. Literally the complete opposite of Josh.
And same with Mad Cat's pretty quiet as well.
Yeah.
When you listen in as well. I mean, Mad Cat literally only calls out when he's killed somebody or he's died. That's pretty much the only things that Mad Cat calls out. But that's why you see Josh is really kind of their in-game leader. It's going to be Aware getting a 2-point play on the board, so they get drone control, bring it through back alley, able to get some points. But if you look at your mini-map and go back towards the drone, it goes right to the hands of Splice, and the map is just completely open there for the taking. They're going to at least get a 1-point play out of this. And Aware just, they do not have the luxury of just trading scores with this team.
Yeah, right now, Splice, they can, I'm not going to say they will, but they can almost take the foot off the gas, trade out the kills, make the initial plays that they need to, and, you know, it's all looking pretty good. But I will say, Aware have fought their way back into this. 5 points on the board. I thought Splice would break double digits. I'm sure they will. But Aware are definitely not out of this. 3 minutes to go here, Mr. X. And I'm just thinking there's a possibility, just maybe, that they can tie things up.
Yeah, it's definitely been a much better performance than I expected from this Aware team.
Oh, yeah.
I know with the way that Splice was playing in the respawn game modes. Aware putting up a very good fight after a tough-fought search and destroy game number 2, but their backs against the wall. Splice with a chance to close this series out. So we're on board with Jerd as he's just trying to make a play over in the street. He's able to take down 2.
Wow.
Spawning in the back alley. He's able to get a 3rd. They do have drone control. They're going to bring this one in for a 2-point play. And now the spawn trap coming in for the side of Splice.
Yeah, I couldn't go away from Jerd there. He's absolutely on fire. And it all came initially from that rewind. Talking to rewind, we've just seen camo unlocked by Josh. And this really should just favor Splice even more. Let's jump on board with Aware, though, to see if they can do anything. They have got drone control. I believe that is Johansson. And now maybe a 1-point play. Not going to be able to get that out of the hands. And again, Splice dominate the kill feeders. Bance picks up the double, make it a triple. Bance finally turning up here. He had a bit of a slow start to this map, actually.
Yeah, and I know Benji for the side of Aware, you can hit some love. He's had a fantastic game. And I think if you're Aware as a team, you kind of go into brackets after this. And it's like, look, let's work on our uplink and our hardpoint. We have a pretty good S&D game. You feel you can play on par with any of the top teams in Europe in that game mode. Now, maybe, some things go right in this one. They're able to get a little bit more drone control. This game is a little bit closer. I feel like it's really, if there's one thing they need to improve heavily on going into the bracket, it's going to be that hardpoint game mode. I mean, they could be fantastic in S&D. And they could be great in uplink, but 2 of the 5 game modes is hardpoint. The 5th S&D, I feel like it's always a little bit of a toss-up when the nerves kick in a game 5. They need to get better in the hardpoints.
Yeah, it must suck as well, every single best of 5 going, if you go 1-0 down, losing that initial game, the pressure's on, and yes, the search and destroy is fantastic, but it really does put a lot of pressure on them, actually. But Splice with a minute left to go. We see the overdrive kicking in here for Mad Cat as he pushes forward. Play which you'd not normally see use overdrive, but seems to be utilizing it very, very well there as Jerd and Josh combine. For 2, Josh is going to find number 3, and Splice looking pretty here with only 60 seconds left on the clock to take the series.
Yeah, but I mean, outside of, 3 or 4 times, in the course of the 10-minute game where Aware had the drone, I mean, they really have not contested for the drone in the middle of the map to make any type of offensive plays. Now, looking at this one, it kind of reminds me a little bit about the Elevate team from North America last year, where it kind of was that game 1, you always knew it was going to be a loss. They needed a fight on the back foot in game 2 and game 3. And, you know, they were able to put together some great performances, but not too often you're going to be able to pull those out, and you're going to lose those hard points at the beginning of a series. Yeah, always very, very difficult here. Scoreline 15-5. As I try and find someone who's alive there. Josh has, I think, stopped playing. A salute comes in for Jerd, and the kill comes in. A little bit of showboating there going on as they will stand up, shake hands, fist bumps all round. And you know what? A warm reception here from London, the guys in the crowd. Clearly happy with what they've just seen. Splyce looking very dominant here in Gfinity. Yeah, Splyce looks like the dominant force we thought they would be when they formed in the EU Call of Duty scene. Jerd, 28-24, a dunk and 2 throws to his name. Good performance from him on the side of Aware. He got a shout out to Benji. Benji had a fantastic game, putting up 30 kills with 23 deaths. Okay, fantastic stuff from us. Let's throw it back over to the guys on the analyst and see what Bryce and the boys have to say.
Thank you very much. Well, it pretty much went.
Yes, I like how you put that. In some parts, it was, but for the most part, it was one-sided through and through. This is Splyce, honestly, are looking like some of the most impressive play I have seen of a team of all the events I've come to London. I mean, this is my 5th one now out here. This looks like one of the best European teams I've ever watched in Call of Duty since I started.
Well, actually, if you look at the players, it is one of the best teams on paper, and now it's translating into the game. So that's what's nice to see. Indeed, Aware, we didn't expect to put much of a fight. Very young players, they've not been in the scene for so long, and they put up a good fight. And SND, actually, they thought they maybe had a chance to win the map, but when it came to those response mode, then they were just too good. This place was just too good.
Yeah, it's just a different class. I think already, I said this tournament, I said at the beginning of this tournament, we're going to start finding out who's really the elite teams. It was easy to kind of guess that it'll be these guys, but realistically, now we're starting to see proof of it. After this, we can say, yeah, categorically, this is a cut above. Splyce is starting to look more and more like that.
Yeah, I think everyone's excited to watch, obviously, Splyce in Orbit, which would be great. I'm actually most excited to watch, like, Splyce versus Infused. Like, one of those teams that, yes, Infused, you could put them right on that edge. Infused looked fantastic yesterday, but not against probably the most formidable opponent. This time around, though, Splyce versus Infused would be able to tell a lot from both teams in regards to where they
are you saying that because you're wearing an Infused shirt?
I feel like there's some sort of...
I actually forgot I had this on. Don't worry, I'll button it. This will be the last time.
I'm looking forward to see Splyce elevate, Splyce Orbit. I think Infused, to me, is a team that I expect to come 4th or 5th. I'd be surprised if they go above that, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Well, we'll get into this map by map in just a second. But before we do, we're going to send it down now. It's Lottie with Josh.
Thank you, Bryce. So I'm with Josh at the moment. You're top of the pool. Fantastic. 1st place. So Aware gave you quite a good S&D map. Do you have a little bit more respect for them going into that last map as well?
Yeah, we've played them a few times online. They've beat us before, so we knew there was a good team, and we just had to prove that we're better than them on land, and we did.
When you saw your pool at the beginning, did you expect to be battling with them for 1st and 2nd place?
Oh yeah, I think it was always pretty obvious in everyone's mind. They're the team that's going to be fighting for the 2nd place behind us.
So now going into the final bracket, you've got a really good seed. Are you quite confident going into it, or are you going to try and keep your composure?
Oh yeah, we're always going to be confident. We know we're one of the best teams, if not the best team here, and we're going to prove it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Josh, and good luck. Back over to you, Bryce.
All right, thank you very much, Josh. Confident as always. Like I said, it's early in the tournament for him. The challenge really isn't there yet.
Yeah, and this was map count. Still, their closest they've been to losing was really, I would say, that Search and Destroy. That's been the only mode that anyone's even come close to even having a chance in. And honestly, they've been looking exceptional as well throughout the weekend.
And what's good for Splyce is that not only we expected them to win the pool, but they win it in convincing fashion. Yeah. It's been very easy games, whether it was against Fab Games or Aware, which arguably are decent teams. They're not teams that, if you go back 2 years ago, those kind of teams, they didn't used to get beaten so badly by the elite teams. It just seems like there is really a big gap now between the top 5, 6 teams and the rest. And again, Splyce against Aware, it was just another day at the office.
Yeah, I think it was. And I think one of the things that it's slightly disappointing for me the way this has gone, because I still really want to see Splyce up against the Anvil. I want to see them forged in fire, and I want to see just how good they can be. But obviously, we're going to have to wait now for the bracket and see who they draw and see just how powerful they actually are.
Yeah, this was the first pool decided way back at the beginning of the day when you saw Aware wind up winning that 2nd series. Everyone else was really not involved in it. If you're Aware, though, I think this tells you a lot, right? Because you just faced Splyce. you know you're now in this championship bracket, right? You've made it on through, but you just faced a team that you would expect to be in the grand finals, and you got stomped. You got stomped, especially in the respawns. How do they change things going into the championship bracket? I don't know. I don't want to be the one tasked with that. But if they want to be a team that winds up proving that they should be in the elites, they've got to beat teams like Splice, and there they don't come out on top.
Well, speaking of the respawns, let's quickly kind of recap how this went. So the hard point, Jonas, what did you see in that?
Well, I just saw classic Splice, you know, the players that you expect. So, you know, players like Macat, like Jerd, Josh. Look at the caliber of the players. Just you say the name, and that sums it all. And weirdly enough, I think we talked about the S&D, and it could be a slip-up. Actually, when we saw Aware play, we were quite surprised to see that they were a very strong R-point team. They've played very well in those R-points, so very convincing from Splice, just getting the kills, getting the rotations, getting nice control of the hills, and just shutting down the Aware lineup.
Yeah, I think one of the things to take away from it is you just didn't see an awful lot of Aware kind of dominance. It's like, oh, yeah, they've got some points, but it's still all the actions going all the way back to Splice.
What's funny is you bring up that this is the same Splice team that also got beat 250-22 by FaZe in Hardpoint. Yes, that was one fluke of a map, and I might have cursed it by tweeting Josh prior to the series, but at the same time, this team...
We know you hate Europe.
This team looks lights out. You're going to keep going with that the whole weekend. It's fine.
Only because it's true.
Okay, you could say that. I'll actually... No, I don't hate Europeans. only you.
Hey, that's fair.
I'll side with that. But no, and
jealousy.
They go into the S&D, and you talked a little bit about Aware kind of showing up and fighting back with it. For me, Splice has been a little bit of a streaky team at times where they go down a little bit in the search and destroys, and they just win 5 in a row and take it back, which they did earlier on. They do it again during this map as well, where at times it looks a little shaky. Then I know where they just start rattling off rounds. They start rattling off rounds. Like here, if I'm not mistaken, they go down 2-0. And then from then on out, it was a different story.
Aware actually started the map real well. I believe they were 3-1 up, and it was 5-3. And they even lost a 2v4 situation that, honestly, they should have won. Fair play to the Splice boys because they turned up. I don't know, maybe Aware saw the opportunity to win a map, and maybe they felt the pressure. They got a little bit shaky. But you could tell they were a really good S&D team, and they just crumbled under pressure. And it was a bit unfortunate because we could have had a map 4. Not that it would have gone the other way. I still believe Splice would have won the entire series, but it was a bit unfortunate. And I actually believe this is that round. That was a 2-on-4 from Splice.
Yeah, it was a game where you could see it going either way, but it's the same thing as what we've seen so far from these top teams, which as the game goes on, they begin to kick it into gear, they adapt, and as it gets later and later into the rounds, those teams clutch up more and more. They look better and better, and these are those scenarios that can go either way for a squad. A 1v1, Mad Cat hits the shots he needs to, gives his team the round lead, and when you're getting 13-4 performances from Mad Cat, you know Splice is going to be in a great spot.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things like there's such strength and depth in this team.
Yep.
And they've got so much slaying power. So I said when this team formed, you know, sometimes you kind of try and base it on a little bit on positions and where you go. Like Josh switched positions last year. This year it's just slaying. Like they just stacked it with so much slaying ability. Is that a team has to overcome that before they can even try and think about the tactics.
Yeah, and that's what I love. It's finally a team in Europe that I'm looking at and I'm going, I can rely on any player on that team to be able to carry the squad if there's a reason to, or to be able to go off. You get that with a few North American teams, but Splice, I can absolutely say, is a squad where I'm like, I can see any player being the superstar in this team when they need to be.
Yeah, very impressive team for sure.
All right, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do right now. We'll take a little look at the groups and see where we've got to so far in this tournament, how it is starting to stack up. Of course, Splice leading their group 3-0, and of course, a flawless map count for them. Aware, look like they are going through in second place 2-1. Unfortunately, Fab Games and Banda, they'll be playing a consolation game later on to find out who actually comes third and fourth. Then Group B, Epsilon, they're 2-0 right now, topping their group, but they've got a big game coming up. Elevate in second place. We could see a turnaround. Imperial 1-1 so far, and Intuition unfortunately lost every single game. Group C, Orbit and 3G 1-0. Cyclone, GG and Millennium, all these teams yet to play today. Group D, Infused Fnatic, that's a big game we're looking forward to right at the end of this evening. And then Black Forest Games and Hadouken, we'll see them later on as well.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense where we are right now. No surprises there, but you can see how it's all developing, and it makes a lot of sense.
I wonder if we're going to see any upsets today. Literally, it's not been close whatsoever between the big teams and the outsiders. So we'll see how it goes, but I'd be
all right.
Not an upset.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's time for a big game. One of the biggest games of the day. Coming up right after this, Elevate versus Epsilon. See you right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CWL London here in the Gfinity Arena. My name is Bryce, and what a game we have coming up for you. Epsilon versus Elevate, but I am not alone on this desk. Joining me, two brothers, no hope. It's Rel and Momo. Rel, how are you?
Very, very good. And yeah, a great game coming up. Both these teams undefeated. It's going to be a close one.
I think this is going to be the closest game we've seen all tournament. I couldn't put a... I mean, you're going to ask me for a prediction, but this is going to be the best game by far.
Okay, yeah, I think so. So far, we've seen a lot of 3-0s, a lot of blowouts, not a lot of competition. But this really is a big one. Now, Elevate didn't play yesterday, but they've been coming second an awful lot recently in the 2K. So they've got a high seed coming into this. Now, Epsilon, of course, they had their troubles. They weren't originally at this tournament. They travelled down yesterday. So there's a lot of history to go through. But before we go deep into these teams, and we will go deep into these teams, we're going to look at what's happened so far. And as you can see, this is kind of a recap of everything we've seen so much. This is going to be match 6 we're going to be looking at, Elevate versus Epsilon. Coming up after this, though, it's going to be some more interesting games. Of course, the one that everyone's looking at right at the end, Infused Fnatic. But we can't count the rest of these out because they will mean something at some point. Whether or not it's just for pro points or it determines their position in the groups. Guys, all right, let's get into this one then. Elevate, Epsilon. Now, Elevate are second seeded.
Yes.
Epsilon were technically, I think, 10th. Is that reflective of their actual positions?
Epsilon have slacked on the pro point side of things. Elevate have performed in the last two 2Ks, finishing second, like you said. And everyone looks at Elevate maybe as the better team here. But you can't put it past what Epsilon have done in the past. Obviously, previously under a different organization at COD XP, they came fourth. Yes, they were great, but it's a new game. It's a new year, and they need to bring the heat again. And I think the one thing that we've just seen from Epsilon, they have flaws. We've seen that they are a little bit weak in areas, and I think Elevate may exploit that.
Rel, do you agree with him?
Yeah, I mean, the 2K is obviously the only data we have to go off so far, so we can purely base our predictions off that, but it doesn't really weigh up how good Epsilon are. I mean, we saw them absolutely hammer the two teams that they've just played, and there were some tough events, so cannot rule them out.
All right, well, let's talk about Elevate first, and let's kind of recap this roster. We've only seen them once, but it was against Intuition. Not a lot of fight actually put up. It's kind of a warm-up going up for them. So I'll tell you what, Phil, why don't you take me through them?
Elevate, obviously, Reedy, Watson, and Zed, 3 names that everyone is familiar with. Shawnee, a little bit of the unknown to some, but to myself, a player which, when I was in the scene, you know, he was just too young to compete. He was a player who was... I was thinking, I'm glad he's a little bit too young. He gives me a bit of more of a fighting chance. But he's now obviously found himself straight away. He's come of age and now in a very, very solid squad. Zed has been dubbed, you know, one of the best players on this game by his teammates. And Watson, I mean, look at that face. You're scared just looking at him.
That's no way to talk about Watson. I think the most stunning thing for me about Elevate is the fact that these names, if you looked at them last year, what they did, what their placements were, it's almost, you wouldn't have said, oh, they're number 2 seed, or they could be an elite level team when you put them together to begin with. But the results and the way they've been playing so far, that's not the case.
Yeah, and one thing about this squad is they've got Watson, and he's known internationally. Obviously, the Americans have kind of seen what he can do. I myself, I've teamed alongside Watson. I will say it's probably one of the greatest times of my career. Also, one of the most stressful, worst times. Look, I mean, look at him. He's just like he's a nightmare, but he's absolutely amazing as a player. That combination, you don't know what to expect. But I will say, this game, he's put time in. He's dedicated. He's chilled out on maybe a few other things, and he's put his focus and time into Call of Duty. So that's why he is number 2 seed.
All right, well, let's look at their opponents then. It's going to be Epsilon. Rel, this roster's got a bit of a story behind it as well. 4th at XP. Take me through it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these guys almost weren't here at this event at all. It was only yesterday that they got the call up and just managed to assemble themselves and get ready and prepared. They do have chemistry on the side. They've been playing together for quite some time now, and they've really proven the worth in the 2 previous games so far at this event. Seem to be fan favourites as well here.
Yeah, it seems to be a little bit of a cheer coming for them in the crowd. So clearly a few fans in the audience ready for these guys to play. And I think one of the things about Epsilon is we weren't 100% sold on their last game versus Imperial. Now, whether it's because Imperial surpassed expectations or Epsilon were weak remains to be seen. This game will give us that.
That's the great thing about the stage we are at currently in Infinite Warfare. We're not, you know, 6 months in or 7, 8 months in where we know the elite level teams, you know, what to expect. We're still at the stage where it's like, was that good or bad from them? We don't know. Who are they going to play? But by the end of this tournament, we're going to find out. Don't underestimate Epsilon. They've got great team chemistry, great individuals. I spoke about, you know, Shawnee or Zed being in particularly a very, very talented player. Hawkey, for me, I watch Hawkey play Call of Duty, and I am just like, this is why I'm behind the desk now. That gun skill.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, along with the other 27 reasons, but Hawkey is just a phenomenal player.
Yeah, it is, and I think, you know, they kind of come out, they surprised a lot of people with that, you know, the World Championships.
Yeah.
It did kind of come out of nowhere, and everyone was like, wow, you know, I mean, that's a team that didn't even make it into Season 2 finals last year, and they've come out of nowhere, and again, they're under the gun once more. They've got so much to prove coming into this.
Yeah, it would certainly be a huge success story as well, especially going against a higher seeded team and taking that victory. And this effectively is going to determine how things pan out when we go into the bracket, because you know, this pool is not settled just yet. We know that Epsilon are going to be advancing, but Elevate still technically could go out of this pool.
This is true. This is true. Elevate, having only played 1 game yet. Phil, you don't seem confident. You think your brother's talking rubbish.
It's all this. Elevate possibly going out the pool. They're not going out the pool. I do agree with Rel. You know, the percentages are there. Elevate and Epsilon, for me, they're pushing through. They're going through, but this, and the reason that I say that is not to have a dig at my brother, that's a bonus, but it's actually just to stress the importance of this game right here.
Yeah.
Who gets 1st and 2nd seed, that's what it comes down to. If I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up.
Well, I think not only that, I mean, it will give them 1st and 2nd seed in that group, but for everybody at home, and the analysts and the casters, and even players and pro sitting in the audience, we figure out who's better in terms of where they sit in the thing. If Elevate are technically 2nd, where does that put Epsilon if they beat them?
It stirs things up a lot. And let's not forget, if you finish 1st in your group and 2nd, that next matchup is a huge change. You could be going against the likes of Splice, or you could be going against the likes of Aware. Again, that's just the first team that comes to my head. No disrespect to Aware. But it's a big change.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of difference here. So both teams are really going to want to. I think what we'll do now, see if this makes any change in our mind. Let's take a little look at the maps and see what exactly we are going to be playing. So we're going to be playing Throwback, Scorch, Frost, Breakout, and Retaliation. All right, guys, does this change your mind anyway, Rel?
I mean, you know, I am edging towards Elevate on this one regardless. I do think they're going to have the edge, but maybe we're going to see a last map here.
I see Scorch, S&D. In fact, I see S&D and I see Elevate. This first map, Epsilon need to take it.
All right, well, there's the maps down. Let's throw it over to our casters now. It's Team Suave, it's Turn and Jonas.
Team Suave, thank you very much, Brycey. You know what? These compliments, he's just firing them out today,
What's
Jonas.
happening to him? Is
I have no idea. I actually have no idea. But, Jonas, I'm super excited for this game. I'm sure the crowd in the arena are going to be pumped up for this one. Epsilon taking on Elevate. And we have to say the winner of this game is probably going to top the group. It's going to be a good teller for the rest of the tournament as well.
It's a great game. It's definitely going to be a hell of a fight. And Epsilon need the pro points. They're so far behind. They need those wins, and it starts right now.
Well, just before we do actually get into this game, let's have a listen to what Desire's got to say about his opponents.
The Elevate team are really underrated, especially on this card. Like Shawnee and Zach, for example, have come through, but I'm always confident against whoever we play.
Confident. We're going to see if it translates into the game. Great start for them as they take control of the first hill. Desire just trying to control the area with his AR.
Well, on board with him now down this left-hand side. Hoki does pick up a kill in the mid as well. As we can see, they are trying to push through, but this current time, no kills going to go down for them, but all the points going towards Epsilon.
Yeah, this is a great start for them, but as I say that, they all go down, and Watson with 3 kills hasn't died yet. Elevate's going to be able to come back and get the control of the hill. Quite a scrappy hill at the middle, but so far both teams quite able to control it.
Yeah, and we can see Zed in that middle point, but on my screen, I've got Desire pushing around that side. He's trying to get a hold of that barn spawn. We can see Elevate already set up there, and it'll be an important gunfight if he can win round the back, and he does, so it takes down Reedy towards the back. And as we can see, we do see Zed at Lemon, though. He's the one just trying to hold this down, but it's going to be a bit of a fight towards the back of barn here, see who can get some sort of control. But it's not really in anybody's hands whatsoever. The kills are going to come in, though, traded between 2 of them. Shawnee and Dave going against each other. Vortex gets a kill as well.
Very important kill by Vortex in the... A bit, I don't know what Zed was doing. Surely he must have known someone was going to come there and was hoping to stay alive, but he should have definitely checked that right side. Yeah. Doesn't matter, they're still going to get the control of the spawn.
Yeah, and you know, I like to see a bit of a closer range map for Vortex. Typically, obviously, an out-and-out SMG player. With the way the meta is in the game at the moment, the ARs probably are predominantly a lot more powerful. So the E-Rad in his hands will be powerful, but there's a lot of kills going to come in. 2 of them from Dave. Desire picks one as well. Dave even picks up his third, so really good work from him. 7-3, 4 streak at this moment in time. If he can get burning, then that's really going to get Epsilon caught back up at this moment in time. But the kills are coming in, and they're mostly towards Epsilon. Cleared out completely there. And it's going to be Elevate trying to get themselves back in, but we can already see the rotation coming in from Epsilon.
And Zed was in a really good position to trying to get a second kill and break into the hill, but very great read from the players from Epsilon. I'm looking at the scoreboard. Dave already 8-4, having a great start, yet it's very close general scoreboard, 49-43, and we're now at back pass. You're going to want to control those sides. You're going to want to push. And look at Vortex. This is exactly what he's doing. Pushing, not going to be successful, but trying to get the play as much pressure as he can on the side.
Well, with Desire, shot's going to be put in. Is he going to pick up a second? Yes, he is. Holding it down as well. Not going to quite get the third. Reedy is going to be in there to clean things up. He should get taken down by Dave, who is there once again towards the 11 side. Spawn Dave picks up another sensational kill as he pushes in. Currently contested, though. The rest of his team are around him. Once again, Elevate are cleaned out. Epsilon have got a little bit of a lead here, and Elevate are going to have to push through. But Elevate have the preferred spawn.
Yeah, I like the aggression from the Epsilon players. I like the aggression from Dave. It looks like a slightly different team that we've seen against Imperial. It just seemed that they're on a different pace. Like they went to the next gear. We were talking about the difficulties in the first halfway. As you see Dave continuing on the streak, straight to his name now, going 12.
And they're about to clear it out. There's only Watson left in there. He's going to pick up a kill, but he's going to get cleared. So Zed and Co from Elevate are going to try and push through, but it seems as if Epsilon were the first ones there. Elevate do regain, though. They have getting the control of that half point. Epsilon are then spawned out. But who's not in the mid-map? Watson's going to be coming behind some members of Epsilon. Does get taken down.
Be in a great situation. Is not going to be able to do anything. And Shawnee just managing to stay alive while his teammates are going to clean the rest of the Epsilon players. And this one push not going to produce anything from the Epsilon. Very great defense from Elevate.
You can see Epsilon just trying to take that time. Watson there causing problems as per usual. Hoki does take him down. There's going to be one last push from Epsilon as they do push it and clear them out. Zed last one there. Is he going to be able to do anything about it? Currently contesting, just causing problems. Desire is there to take him down, but Elevate have spawned not too far away down the right-hand side. They're going to have one last little stab at this one, and they should get shut down. Desire eventually picking up a kill there. A couple more going to come in for him, though, so it seems as if Elevate are just going to pick up that last bit of scrap time, which should be a pretty even game going back to the central hardpoint.
Yeah, and I'm looking on the scoreboard. Definitely an advantage on the slaying department from the guys at Epsilon. No one is actually going positive except Zed on the Elevate side. That's slightly worrying and not really what I expected. Yet the scoreboard is perfectly even as we enter in the second rotation. Very fast-paced game. Teams pushing correctly together. This is what we expected from those elite teams.
Well, Reedy and Watson are getting kills for Elevate. Zed gets the one with the Scarab as well. Dave's the only one from Epsilon to answer back. They need to push in, try and get some points here. We've seen a few teams pick up quite a few points from this train platform side because they've pushed them so back toward the other team, so far back towards Barn, or pushed them on the other side that they don't really want to challenge that too much. They want to concentrate on the second one. So people are picking up more than just scrap points in this one. Reedy with shots from tickets towards Restaurant. Really good ones as well. Epsilon currently inside the point, but Reedy currently on a 7 streak is going to make it in 8 as well. It's not going to matter. He does secure it. Full streaks available for Jordan Reed.
Yeah, that is massive for Reedy. He was having quite a quiet game, and now he lights it up. 7 kills to his name, like you said, and all the score streaks available. This is going to be invaluable. He's going to be able to use that maybe to break the spawn and to control the next hill. He's just going to wait wisely for his teammates, and now Epsilon are in a world of troubles.
Yeah, he hasn't actually managed to call anything in here, but the kills are going to be traded between the two apiece. Trophy system out is going to help him out there as well. Really just trying to play his time here, waiting the rest of his team coming back up. They do have control of the point right now. The kills are going to come in from Reedy as well. Does take down Dave towards the back. Shawnee inside the hard point. Not somebody we'll watch very much, but an important kill there on the Hawkeye. Vortex goes down to Reedy also, and that's a really good retake by Elevate, who have got a little bit of a lead now. We haven't seen anyone really establish anything just as of yet, but it seems as if Elevate are trying to push this one out, as Reedy has now used his tricks.
Okay, Epsilon is going to try to get the final scrap points of this hard point. Not going to be able to. Are they going to have at least the rotation? They're not even going to have the rotation. So you see that last push, not even they don't get the scrap points, but they also don't get the rotation. So it's a double punishment. You've got to be very careful when you go for this bet. And now Elevate is in a prime situation to take this map. They have a 70-point lead soon and control of the bike pass. This is looking really good. They just went to the next gear as well.
Well, Elevate, as said, do have a pretty substantial lead at this moment in time. On board now with Shawnee. Shot's going to be fired by him, taking somebody down as well. See what he can do from this position. Scarab is out.
Oh,
just to actually take down his teammate there. But once again, back on Shawnee. They are extending that lead. The kills are all coming in the favor of Elevate, who've had control for the full 30 seconds on this side. Vortex and Dave trying to answer back here. Elevate very, very strong on Hardpoint and S&D. These are the game modes we probably expect them to win here. And there is a tri-rocket available also for Reedy. Drop shot with the E-Rad as well. Centurion also available. And this is a pretty substantial lead now for Elevate. Really, 24 and 17, having a pretty good performance.
Yeah, really, really a good plays from Reedy. Even winding up the other team 100-point lead now. And it was very close, basically, until until Reedy started playing better. And since he's been starting playing to play better, they've basically had control of the whole second rotation. Huge plays from them. And Epsilon not been able to produce anything. Hawkeye and Vortex having a lot of troubles. Actually, everyone except Dave. Dave's the only one actually having a good game on the Epsilon side.
Well, now on board with Hawkeye. They need to try and make a push in here. There's only 20 points left for Elevate to get a hold of, and this will be a monumental comeback from Epsilon if they can manage it. But 30 seconds left on baseball field, and they can hold these ones down. But here we go. Here come the score streaks. The Trinity Rocket is going to come out. Watson does take down Dave in the process as well. Reedy taking down Hawkeye towards the back. So Elevate taking their time here. Just waiting for their moment to pounce. The kills do come in once again. It's not going to be enough for them to win it, the rest of the points on baseball field. But as we rotate back to the middle, it is going to be Elevate last ones there because Epsilon are scrapping for those final few points at baseball field, and they can't afford to lose any more points whatsoever. There's only 10 left for Elevate to take the win.
Yeah, and very well played from Reedy as well. Very nice positioning towards the middle of the map. He completely anticipated the first hill, leaving no chance to Epsilon to control the next hill. And this is going to be it. Elevate take map number 1, 250, 116. What a great map. It just looked like a very close map. And they finished with such a huge lead. Great play from Elevate.
Yeah, you know, if you take that into consideration, I said if it was in and around 90 points, the fact that Epsilon only really picked up 20 or so on the second rotation of hard points Really well played by Elevate on that second rotation. They're going to walk away as winners of map number 1. Now, I didn't really have a chance to talk about the predictions that we were going to be thinking about in this game. And I know, obviously, asking you after the first map makes it a little bit null and void, but I would have said that Elevate were going to win that map.
I think I'm going to say Elevate.
Yeah.
I think it's an obvious pick now with the way the map number 1 went. Yeah. But I would have picked Elevate either way because I think they just look like a stronger team, especially in those first games. But looking at it now, it's even... I would have said it could have been a 3-2, but now that Epsilon got beaten so badly on that hard point, I actually believe that it could be a 3-0.
It could be. Realistically, though, I think both these teams are very strong S&D teams, but I think, for me, Elevate are probably a stronger S&D team. So Epsilon are going to have to pull something out of the bag here. I think the uplink, I'm honestly not 100% sure about. But Elevate obviously finished the second 2Ks in a row. Had a good performance at MLG by all standards anyway. You know, they had a good game against Envious, winning that one on the main stage. I was catching that one the other day again, and it's just very impressive how well they're playing. And I think, you know, I think Watson's such a big factor for that team's success, because I think what Momo was saying was correct. You know, he's such a loose cannon. He's one of these guys who's like, he's so annoying to team with, but you team with him because of his raw skill. He's very, very fast player. And when he can fully commit to playing the game, last year we didn't see that so much. We didn't see him really committing to playing Call of Duty all the time. Now he has getting back to that stage where we are sort of seeing the Watson that we did see in and around AW.
Oh, absolutely. Watson is a big factor, but actually, when I first saw this team get together, I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but actually gelled very nicely together. And you were saying Watson can go off, but I do believe that any of them can go off. We just saw really going huge. We've seen Shani every once in a while going big as well. We've seen Zed having great games. So to me, it's not just Zed or Watson being the factor. It's actually all 4 players are gelling very nicely together, all able to come off, and it explains why Elevate has been so successful lately. They've had a decent MLG Vegas, even though I believe they could have done much better. They've had great online performances, and now going into this tournament so far, it's almost looking easy for them. They're going up against Epsilon. This squad came 4th at COD XP, beating some of the best teams in the world, and yet the R point, which is arguably Epsilon's biggest game type, was 250-116. That says a lot about Elevate's gameplay right now.
Yeah, it says a lot about the standard that they are trying to set, and I think it's a very strong team. Of course, we do have really, really leading that one. You know, I mean, you got new guys coming in. Shawnee only recently turned 18, and he's been a big factor in this team. Zed, bit of a joker, has said he ends up just mooing it. Reedy apparently was what Reedy was telling me. But I mean, this year though, he's looking very strong as well. We sort of seen him come out the field, start playing really well last year. This year, now he sort of stepped up to that top elite level. And then I said with Watson, if he can play the way that we know Watson can play and put the time in and the commitment and his mind to it, then Watson is a top level player. They're a very good team.
Yeah, and with Zed, no offense to the players he was playing with before, but he's got such a... I think because the team gels so well around him that he's able to go on his own and kind of get these kill streaks and be that annoying guy that you don't really know where he is, but just creating a lot of problems. I wasn't getting that impression with the team that he had last year with Hyper Games, because I felt like he wasn't the only one trying to do that. Quicker was maybe sometimes also having the same type of game style, whereas here it just fits perfectly. I mean, this is literally, this team is perfect when you look at it and the way that they play together.
I mean, what we heard from a couple of the Elevate players, they think he's one of the best players in Europe. You know, I mean, for me, last year, Zed, you would never really have put him in that bracket. But anyway, looking towards the map, Scorch, Search and Destroy is going to be the second one coming up. Frost Uplink is the third. And if we see them break out Hardpoint, will be the fourth. And Retaliation, Search and Destroy will be the fifth.
And I'm very interested to see how Scorch is going to play out in this S&D between Elevate and where it was kind of messy and chaotic. But today, to see it between 2 elite teams who know the map, who know each other, are they going to maybe take it more slowly? Are the defensive side going to be very aggressive? Are they going to try to do A? I just wonder how it's going to go down. But again, there was a few updates to that map. Bomb site has been moved a few times now. That B bomb site, again, heavily favored, very chaotic, very fast-paced. And we've also seen a few snipers, so it'd be interesting to see if Reedy tries to do it. And I think
well, we're going to go with the attacking side. Let's just have a look at the rig draft while we're on. And again, nothing too crazy from any two of the teams. Just standard setups that we usually do see. Let's go on board with the attacking team, though. and see what they can do.
I'm just watching Reedy with the sniper, see what he can do, because we've seen the sniper being a huge difference from Tommy yesterday, not going to be able to hit the shot, and Vortex is going to be able to find Shani. Zed finds Vortex, and just like that, it's a 1-on-3 situation. Oki still alive, good aggressive, but nice composure in the defensive side from the Elevate.
I think they just matched that aggression, didn't they? And in the end, winning that one, just good he is. I mean, the guy just plays so much Call of Duty. How can he love it? He's a very, very good player. And just the slaying ability of him is just... We see it. It can sometimes hinder him. I think that was what the talk is, really, isn't it? I mean, sometimes he can be a little bit over the top with the slaying, but really looking for that pick through the gap here. Not going to see anybody. It seems as if Epsilon are playing this one a little bit more cautiously than Elevate did in the last defensive run. Yeah, they are. I think they are trying to play around Reedy, maybe get a pick. At least if they don't get a pick, the good thing with the sniper is to get that information. And what a shot from Reedy. Just ripping off Desire's head. It's going to fall down. Maybe a little too much aggression with that pistol. It's going to be a 2-on-2 situation. Now make it 1v2. Watson, is he going to be able to make it against Dave and Oki? Maybe the first round on the board for the boys of Epsilon. Yeah, Watson in a tough situation here. Should be on the first. Is the second going to come traded in? Nice, so clever. 2-0 is now the score to Elevate. A phenomenal player. It's like as if he just knew where he was. Yeah, it was so smooth. The way he just entered the window and just like, oh, this is beautiful, Watson. That 1v2 was just perfect, and the Epsilon lineup just not able to trade efficiently. You would have thought they would have been a bit better set up for that one. I mean, we've seen that they split. One of them challenged, and you would have thought Hockey was in a bit of a better position to do something about it. But that time, not quick enough. But on board with Dave for this attacking round. Let's see what Epsilon can do. Get on the board here. Shot's going to come in. Zed is going to get the first kill. It always seems to be Elevate with the first kills in here, and they're just pushing in and dominating all over Epsilon. Desire is certainly last guy alive, and not in the place you would expect him to be. So he's not in that position to trade it. When it gets so aggressive around B, he's there to help his team out. I appreciate what he's doing. If his team had won those trades, this would be fantastic position. But currently, it's not where he wants to be. There was so much aggression coming from Elevate, and Desire is going to shoot, not able to find anyone. Again, do not shoot if you're not sure to kill someone. Tried to do it and didn't go down, and now they're all going to be around him, not able to do anything. And so far, so good for Elevate. This seems like deja vu from map 1 ton. Yeah, at this moment in time, Shawnee hasn't even got a kill for Elevate, and they're still walking away as 3-0 winners at this moment in time. Desire dropping that donut to center. When I was sitting around with the players, he said, "I'm not having a great time here. I'm not playing fantastic." So yeah, it was still affecting him. I think he said he's not feeling too well either. So I mean, I said that could be affecting him. But let's see. They need to go around on the board. I'm over with Reedy again. That trophy system is out. It's full of Jordan Reed again. He's been able to find so many kills with Sniper, 4 so far, including 2 first blood. He's going to see the head again, not going to be able to hit it. That was close. And the boys from Epsilon, I wouldn't stay there too much if I was you, because this is a dangerous place to be with Reedy and the Sniper. Ooh, is he going to find it? It's not. A little bit of greed from Reedy. I think he was just in the position to actually push that, but Shawnee and Zed are currently left alive. It is a 2 versus 2 shots being fired, though. Shawnee going to be able to pull that one away. It does take down Hawkey. And suddenly, last guy alive is going to be a Desire. 2 of them going to line up for him. Gets taken down. 4-0 is the score, and this is a commanding performance out of Elevate in this S&D. Yeah, impressive indeed. And I can't help but think that it might have gone down differently if Watson didn't get that 1v2 in the second round. Must have yeah, I mean, that's the sort of round. Yeah, it can really affect you, because I think, especially the way that they lost it, it wasn't just a standard 1v2. It was a really good player by Watson, but at the same time, it probably could have been a little bit better from Epsilon. Well, there is another boy who picked up the Sniper. Actually, he put it down. I think it was Dave. I think he might have either. Yeah, he must have changed his classes. But okay, so this is something that we've seen before. All the Elevate players going around the back, trying to surprise the opponent team. They went for the aggression a few times already, jumping on the bomb. This time around, they want to try, and this is going to be successful. As Shani finds the first kill, it's going to be traded. Dave kills a Z 3-on-3 situation, but they do not have any idea where the Elevate team is. Shawnee's going to get the pick on the Vortex as well, so suddenly it's Dave and Hawkey left all alone. Hawkey does get the kill on the Shawnee. Are they going to be able to trade that one away together? Not quite. Hawkey goes down to Reedy, and they won't know where Dave is because he hasn't fired any bullets currently, so they won't be 100% sure. Currently 3 and 4 here. Dave, what can he do from this position? Going to spot one. Shots did go in, but they are just going to stack up on him now. Shots going to be fired in as well. They need to be careful, but not in that case. 5-0 to Elevate here. And we said this is going to be one of the closer games, maybe, you know, a little bit tighter between these two teams, but Elevate really showing their pedigree here. This is why they've been doing so well in the 2Ks. They are a very, very good team. There's no illusions about that right now.
Yeah. And right now, if you're Imperial and you're sitting in the crowd and looking at this, and you know you need to be Elevate in order to go through, this gotta be a scary thought, because this Elevate team is very, very scary. Look at the performances. 5-0 after a very convincing first map. I want to see again what the boy really can do. Not gonna find anything. Watson still on 6 kills as well. Only died once. Perfect map from him.
Playing very, very well. Elevate just choosing to sit back here. Watson not gonna get that one with the Scarab there. Really just waiting for Epsilon to get aggressive. He knows what sort of team they are. He knows that they can potentially push through here. But there's a strange setup by Elevate, and Epsilon, it's going to make them think about this as well. And Elevate are going to make their move. And, I mean, the COD timing from Epsilon, it couldn't be even more.
I think Elevate was waiting. They must have had eyes on mid-map, like just a very thin line that would allow them to see what was going on, because they moved at the exact perfect timing. That was great play from Elevate. They're going to get the bomb now, 4-on-4, bomb planted. Epsilon's got everything to do.
Well, let's see what they can do. They need to do that to stay in this map now. Hoki does get the first kill on a Reedy. Zed's going to trade that one away. Vortex does take down him as well, though. This kill needs to be won by Watson. Wins it. Does have active camera as well. Not going to get a chance to pull that one out. So Shoney is currently left in a 1 versus 2 against Dave and Desire. What can he do? The first shot should come in. Takes down Dave.
He has a hint.
He has a good idea of where Desire is coming from. Oh, he turns around at just the right time, but the kill hasn't actually come in. Desire, is he going to be able to get it? Just about gets it. Is he going to be there in time for the defuse as well? Just about going to get it. Oh, wow. I mean, Desire, he should have made that kill without being so
that
close.
Was scary.
No, man.
If it lost that, that would have been his own fault. That was absolutely dramatic.
Wow. That was very, very close. Epsilon just about to stay alive in this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if a teammate punched him, because that's a kill you can't miss. That's a kill.
I mean, that's just like how Epsilon's game's been going, though, isn't it? I mean, it's like it's just not working out for them. They get no breaks, no luck at this current moment in time, and Desire gets it just as Shoney turns around as well. So Shoney will be a little bit.
The luck with the timing as well. Like the stars lined up for Desire. He had all the luck in the world with that Call of Duty timing, and yet was almost turned on. Now it's still going to be 5-1. There's still a big deficit to climb back from.
Oh, Elevate getting aggressive, and Vortex is going to be aware of that one. Takes down Watson. That loose cannon, as we said, he doesn't like to push on. Dave takes down Zed as well. Could this be the comeback mounting? Oh, Dave gets another one out of Reedy. Also, Shoney's currently left alive and pushed on through. Is that the ace? No, Vortex did get one, but Dave did push through, picked up 3. It's good work by him. That's 2 rounds off the bounce there.
Yeah, no one dying on the Epsilon side. Finally, some convincing rounds. It's a shame that they waited 5-0 to start playing, because it was really one-sided. Like, it's not 5-0 where you have very close round, except that 1v2.
If you look at the kills, though, I mean, they're really not.
It's not that bad.
It's not substantially towards Elevate.
They usually ended with like 2v1s from.
Yeah, so they've just been winning those clutch situations. But on board with the defensive team here with Vortex. And let's keep Epsilon, see what they can do to try and break that duck, but we can see Elevate are really stacking up towards this B side. But Dave once again picks up 2. Shoney picks up 2 of his own. Vortex cleans up though, and suddenly it's left with Watson in a 1 versus 2 situation against Hoki and Vortex, and they're chasing him down. They're hunting him down. Let's go on board with Watson and see what he can do in this situation.
I'm not sure why they're trying to hunt him down so much. It's a 2v1.
I think they're just sticking together though. That's the thing. They're there for the trade. They're going to spot him. 5-3, 3 rounds off the bounce for Epsilon. And now if you Elevate, you got to start wondering, right? You've got to make sure you clean this out. Do what you did those first 5 rounds. If Epsilon come back and win this from 5-0 down, that's not just a map loss. That's a map loss you should not have lost whatsoever. You got 5 potential chances to close it out, and they haven't done it yet on the 3rd try. So they got the 4th and 5th yet to go.
But now the aggression from Epsilon is paying, and that's what's interesting. And huge damage from Dave as well. That double kill was everything to that round.
Dave's picked up 5 kills in the last 2 rounds, so went for 3, 7 to 8 and 7. Good work by him. Going to push on there now. Shot's going to be fired. They're getting a bit more aggressive. Who's that going in? That's going to be Vortex taking down Watson. He needs somebody there to help him trade, though, because surely he'll get traded away. He's not going to, though. He's going to take down Reedy, and this is looking very, very good for Epsilon. 3 men do go down. Currently, Zed is left all alive on his own. This moment in time, though, he's in such a bad situation. The bomb down to B. He's going to try and do something here. He's going to get taken down as well.
5-4, Chris.
That's 4 rounds in a row for Epsilon.
I'll tell you, when you said it could be the start of the comeback after they won the second round, I was like, I'm not sure it could happen.
Oh, I know.
To me, the chances were limited. Now I do believe that we might go to round 11. Very, very weird game. Very one-sided towards Elevate at first, and now Epsilon, just everything paying off. The aggression is completely working. It wasn't paying off at the start.
But what are Elevate doing differently here? Because Vortex pushed in there. He picked up 1 kill, and then surely he's got to be traded away because of the position that he's in. But let's see what Dave's going to do from this side, because he's going to spot them coming down here. He has to back off. He has to let the rest of his team come over and try and help him out. He needs to stay alive. He's done very, very well to do so. Vortex picks up the first kill on Reedy. Dave's going to spot them there. He needs help from his teammates. That's another kill going to come in. Is this going to be the 5th round in a row for Epsilon? Yes, it is. And we are in a round 11. Epsilon coming all the way back from 5-0 down. We've got a game on our hands now, Jonas.
And what a smart play from Dave. Just staying alive all round long. Just making sure that Elevate couldn't get to the bomb without being noticed. Very well played, staying alive, great movement. Dave has been the star player for Epsilon for those 5 rounds. Can he make it again for that round 11? Elevate was looking easy. Now, they might regret this map.
Well, Elevate were 5-0 to the good if you're just joining us. It's suddenly 5-5. Epsilon coming screaming out the blocks. It's a little bit late, but they are here now. Which way is this one going to go? Vortex picks up another one. He's on a 7-kill streak currently.
He's got score streaks as well. Is he going to be able to make anything about it?
Hawkey gets the second one. It's a 4 versus 2 now. On board with Dave. Is there going to be any more kills coming in? Reedy and Watson are left alive. Reedy does take down Hawkey. It's going to make it a better situation for Elevate. On board with Dave. Very precarious situation here. Elevate have to be careful. They were 5-0 to the good. Epsilon started showing up.
This is huge. Reedy needs to make something special. This is a 2-on-3 situation. They've got to defend
Streaks
the
are
bomb.
coming in. That's going to pin them in. Shots going in. Reedy's going to get the kill on the Vortex. This was a 2 versus 4. Now it's a 2 versus 2. The bomb goes down. Reedy goes down also. Watson is left all alive on his own in a 1 versus 2 against the Epsilon squad that were 5-0 down. Watson in such a bad position. 30 seconds left to go. The tri-rocket comes in. It's not completely unachievable from this position, but it's going to be very hard. They know exactly where he is. He's been spotted by that score streak. Still on board with Watson, pushing through. 20 seconds to go. The time is ticking down, and surely this is going to be too late now. 4 Elevate, they were 5-0 to the good. Epsilon comes screaming back with only 10 seconds remaining on that bomb timer, and surely that is going to be the 6th round going over towards Epsilon, who are 5-0 down. It's 1-1, Jonas.
What a crazy map. What a crazy map. What a comeback from Epsilon. We thought it was game over. Look at Dave, he can barely believe it. He's had a hell of a map, and so did Vortex. The 2 guys just went huge time and time. Here comes the first, all the just very solid plays. The streaks didn't help, but they locked Elevate inside their base. They couldn't make anything, they couldn't check the bomb. And it was just absolutely beautiful plays from Epsilon. I can't believe what we just witnessed. Maybe we're going to see the Epsilon that we know and love from now on, because that is what they needed.
That is really what they needed. I think, you know, Hawkey and Desire were picking up kills there, but the ones that were important ones, we just seen Dave and Vortex lighten that scoreboard up in those last 6 rounds. What a sensational map. And if you're Elevate there now, you've got to be very, very annoyed with yourselves. That's 2-0 up in the series. You're going into the 3rd map with a 2-0 lead.
That's heartbreaking, especially for a team that specializes in
momentum
SND.
shift.
I mean, we talked about the qualities of Elevate in SND. Now you've got to imagine that this team was actually leading 5-0, and it was looking very easy. And from there, just losing your composure, not able to win a single round. It must be devastating. And knowing that we have some characters, let's put it that way, they've got a lot of colors and their characters, Reedy and Watson, you've got to be annoyed. Are they going to be able to forget what just happened? Are they maybe going to go full tilt?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things you have to be careful with that sort of team. I mean, this is one thing that they did say maybe about Zed, that, you know, when we are losing or we are in a bad situation, that sometimes it can be bad. You know, you can sometimes go on a bit of a tilt when we do lose in those sorts of situations. That definitely could class as one of the situations you really don't want to lose in.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, that is a really, really heartbreaking loss to take. But hats off to Epsilon, man. They are 5-0 down.
And Vortex looking indifferent. It actually looks like he lost the map. or maybe he's just so...
He's just relaxed, man.
Yeah, so...
Us Northeast folk, Dave's from my ends, you see, and we're just chilled all the time. We don't stress about anything. That's actually not true. I mean, could you imagine how stressful it was, the whole traveling down on the last minute for these guys as well?
Well, I think they were. It was good stress because they must have been well happy that they were able to come back, and now they've got a chance at maybe taking down Elevate. And woo! I think we're in for a great and long game. I wouldn't be surprised if we went all the way to Game 5. So can I change my prediction now?
I don't know if you can, you know.
I mean, the momentum just switched.
It was like it was like they just like flicked a switch and started playing better. I mean, did it take them 5 rounds to realize what they were doing wrong, or do you think Elevate just stopped playing the way that they were playing? The questions will be asked, and I'm sure the guys on the desk will discuss it. But to throw away a lead like that, if they lose the series now.
But to me, it's not even Elevate throwing it away. It's just coming back and just succeeding in everything that they did. And
they did succeed in everything you did, but you can't lose an S&D if you're 5-0 up. You can't do it.
Well,
surely, you're right. Okay, right, you're 5-0 up. There's 6 rounds left to play. You have to win one round.
But one round is different from each other, and they didn't have any score streak. So there wasn't anything that prevents you from winning a round to another.
I suppose, yeah, those big close rounds, you know. I mean, the rounds that they win, the first 5, we did, you know, point out the fact that the kills, the kills weren't necessarily in one team's favor. You know, I mean, Elevate had a couple more, but it wasn't like substantial. It wasn't a 5-0 score difference on the kills.
It goes down to that situation as well. It goes down to maybe there was some unnecessary pressure on the shoulders of the players from Epsilon, and they went 5-0, and you know, backs against the wall, pressure goes off. Let's just, you know, getting YOLO strats and
YOLO strats. Yeah,
it's what it is. It's literally what it is. How many times have we seen Optic, you know, 5-5 just rush middle map? Happens all the time. And
the composure.
It's just composure. You've got to try it, and if you're confident in your gunfight, and if you're confident in your teammates covering yourself, then maybe it can happen. It's just what we witnessed, and now it's gonna be up to Elevate to show composure. Fist bumps. It's a new map, it's a new day, and it's gonna be Frost Uplink.
Well, I said Frost Uplink coming up now, and wow, which way does this one swing now, Jonas? Elevate in the driving seat until the final minute of that S&D. They were in the lead the whole way through. And suddenly, Epsilon just turned it on. As we get into this one, though, I really don't know which way this series is going. Now, I mean, it's fair to say it's an easy choice to make when Elevate are 5-0 to the good in the S&D, won the first map convincingly. This completely changes things.
It changes everything, and I wonder how Zed is going to react to that. It's one of the players I'm going to be looking at onto this uplink on the side of Elevate. He's going to be showing aggression with his etre from the start. Going to pick up the first blood, and so does Watson. So maybe there is an opportunity, but Epsilon answers back straight away.
Yeah, it's just about trying to get some control in and around this drone, get into a position where you can actually pull it away. And not just pull it away for the sake of it, but the kills are going to come in, and here's going to be, once again, leading towards Epsilon. They're going to be getting the kills here. It's Vortex on a bit of a tear. 3-0 from him, picks up the drone. Does have help from his teammates as well. They're going to push on through here, and this is not the easiest one to score. The one is just about going to miss. Just misses it over the top there. Hokey in a good position to do something here. Really does take him down, though. So that pressure that Epsilon, did have on their shoulders is alleviated just a little bit as Elevate do actually push out.
Very unfortunate 1-point throw for Vortex. I definitely thought that was going to go in, and Vortex just starting it in the map very, very hot. And he had a really great map on S&D, so it's good. If he keeps playing like that, it's going to be a real problem for that Elevate lineup. Right now, both teams kind of observing each other, waiting for mid-map control, waiting until they have the opportunity to push for the drone.
Yeah, and you're going to just try and keep... a reminder of that 1-pointer that Hokey did miss. Oh, that should be a good one. The interception does come in, though.
Shawnee.
It's going to be reset. Shawnee doing very, very well there, and that's 2 1-pointers Epsilon could have potentially had that. So 1 minute and a half gone. Epsilon really should be in the lead.
Huge interception indeed from Shawnee. And right now the pressure is definitely on the side of Elevate. They haven't really had control. I'm not even sure if they touched the drone except from reset.
This is what I mean, man. That sort of loss can really dent your confidence. Hokey pushing on through, taking down Radiant. Desire dies in the middle of the map, and it was actually David actually killing himself as well, but Hokey's going to get the kills. It's going to lead all the way through. Zed's concentrating far too much on other players. The 2 points does go in as the carry capture.
An amazing play from Dave. Amazing play, because he checked every corner as he was going with the drone, and
the pass comes in
just
as well.
Going in again. Is going to be able to go for another 2-pointer, and Relay is setting up. So Elevate now in a world of trouble. this is really going to be complicated. Let's see if they can change things around. We're going to go in a quick listening with Elevate.
Mid.
Yeah, bench, we can ball, dead.
One lab.
One more, Soldo, big kills. Dave with Soldo.
Let's
go. Nice, 2.
Let's go.
Bring the ball, lab. Yeah, he's fucking all red, man. He's playing red, like India.
I pushed out India.
Nice.
Where did Steve was India?
He's still India.
Steve dead. Oh, he's telling me Steve was absolute.
He's in lab.
He was absolute India.
He's fine.
There's a guy blue.
Give me lab.
Oh, lab, man. Fuck.
Big kill. Steve was already in
lab pushing. Two lab pushing.
Pushing the back, push up one.
I'm going to base.
That's one red. I need to try and
dead.
You got me. They're going to push out the back. They're pushing.
Shit, man. Push straight.
So good. We can do this.
Big kills.
All takes mid.
He's cutting mid. Yeah, he's absolute. He's going to throw the ball.
Nice. There's a guy side door.
So absolute. So dead. One more sold. Hawkey, big kills.
One bullet, Sean.
Let's get on our base, though.
Yeah, he's saying, man, he's killed me. He's pushing ball mid.
Push out the back.
Come out mid, Hawkey.
Hold on.
One more mid alley absolute.
In lab.
What's on our base?
Thank you, Soldo. Watch your mid flank.
Okay, mate, I went lab.
One more was watching sword.
One shot back door, he's going for ball.
I'm in lab. I'm holding side door.
Top lab.
Mid, one bullet, mid a fucking bullet.
Killed him up top.
One bullet, mid, Hawkey.
Hawkey beat mid. Hawkey dead.
And where has this Epsilon squad come from? They are 9-0 to the good at half-time. And there's time for more, actually, in this half, I should say. This first map that they were in, we've seen them in this, and we expected them to be close on the hard point, but Elevate really put on a clinic. They played fantastically well. And after going 5-0 down, it's like a switch has been flicked. All the kills are going towards them. Look at that scoreboard, 16-6 for Vortex, and the important score on the board is in Epsilon's favor once again. 9-0. It's looking like it could actually be more at the same time. Well played by Epsilon. 30 seconds to go in this half, and that could not have went worse for Elevate.
And it was just until 20 seconds ago, literally, they had no control of the drone for the entire half. They didn't go past mid-map. Breed is not.
They haven't even had a chance. That's as close as they've gotten to Epsilon's drone. To their portal, sorry. Wow.
I kept on flicking through the Elevate players when we went listening, and they kept on dying. It was a true massacre. Literally, Epsilon gave them no chance. Amazing pressure being applied. Spawn kill, everything they did. I mean, literally right now, the momentum, we say it switched sides. It's just a brand new Epsilon that came in. This is the Epsilon that we know. And on the other end, Elevate just looked shut down. There is no one answering back. There is no Watson going 7-15, no Zed going 11-15, and Shani
they're all
the one.
I mean, it's not necessarily about the kills, but they need the kills to get the control. And they've the thing is, it's not like they've missed a couple of ones. If anything, Epsilon have missed a couple of ones. You know, it could be worse. So Elevate really underperforming here. I don't know if it's just a bad map for them coming out of the back of that, or has it really? I mean, surely it's affected them being 5-0 to the good. They were sailing into this third map 2-0.
I mean,
they were there. Look at all the kills. They're all coming in. They're all Epsilon. Shawnee does get a hold of the drone eventually, but Epsilon are all over them.
It looks like two totally different teams. Arke is even going to be able to go for the one. And this is just the confidence that you have in those gunfights. Just look shaky from Elevate, and it didn't look shaky in the first map. And now Epsilon is just shooting fire bullets right now. Look at them. Well, not a good example, but overall, you look at Vortex, you look at Dave and Arke, just playing amazing so far. Look at this shot from Arke.
I mean, he's 24-12 currently. I mean, at this point, 10-0, it's not unachievable for Elevate to bring this one back. But they need to start changing what they're doing right now. They are not getting any control. They need to start concentrating on maybe actually trying to get a couple of kills to try and make it easier for them.
He's all alone, and there is 3 defenders. Right now, they've got control of the drone, but they don't have the setup that is required to go for those twos. He's going to be able to get some score streaks, but again, his teammate comes with him and dies straight away. There is no opportunity to go, and he's going to try to go for the one, not even able to. And this is just a...
No, the kills are going to come in there. Is this going to be an opportunity? No, it has been reset, so that's massive by Epsilon. Because they could have set up... Elevate, sorry, they could have set up a bit of a relay there, because that's what we've seen Epsilon do. I think they got 6 off the bounce very, very quickly. There you go, 2 points are going to go in. So, as I said, here's not the question. Elevate to bring this one back. Epsilon need to continue what they've been doing. Could we see another comeback here, John? That's 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. 8
Please
points
don't
is
do
the
that to
difference.
me.
No,
Well,
man, I won't be able to cast fourth map if it does actually happen.
Team kill with the kill streaks from Epsilon, and Epsilon had some kill streaks, so currently kind of wasting them. That's good news for Elevate, but the bad news is 3 minutes left, 8 points to come back to 4 possession game. They have an opportunity right there. They're going to try to go for the one, but it's intercepted by Vortex. Very nice read from the Epsilon players. And you know, this is tough when you go in those situations because you don't have the control.
That was a really big kill by Watson because he kept the pressure on. Fortunately, the rest of his team have actually been pinned in by Desire, who was running around the spawn there. Really good work by him, but the drone is in the hands of Epsilon. They're just trying to waste a bit of time here. It's going to be reset once again. Elevate should be there to pick that one up, and they need to do so quickly. But Desire and Dave got something to say about that. Desire picking it up once again.
Shunny
Takes down
all
Watson.
alone.
Yeah, all alone, but he needs to just try and stay in control of that drone. He's not going to be able to. Desire's third kill in a row there. Does eventually go down to Zed, down that cliff side. This moment in time, though, Epsilon are well and truly in the driving seat.
But X should be able to pick both. And he was stunned, and it's going to be Zed in the middle of the map on a kill streak. Can he be the hero? Can he do anything special? Within 2 minutes, if they can set up for a relay, there is enough time to come back into the game. But it's got to be perfect. It's going to be complicated. He can still go for it. He needs to start with the kill, and there, Watson. It would have been big if he could have made that kill, but Elevate just not able to replicate what Epsilon was doing in the first half.
They just can't really string any kills together. I mean, what we're seeing the scoreboard, sorry, the kill feed is just mixed up between two of them. Vortex gets the kill and the interception, though. Phenomenal work by him as he's going to push on through. And is this going to be an opportunity for Epsilon to try and get some points on the board in this half of their own? Currently on board with Vortex. They did get one right at the beginning of the half, but it's currently been Elevate. The thing is, Elevate have had somewhat control, but they've not really had any established control. It's not been enough to really turn it into points, but Dave running around their spawn, just causing all sorts of problems. His specialist is going to be available, as it is Desires. Vortex and Hawkey, a little bit off that one there now, but just running around in research, just causing problems where they can. Bullshit does help out, does get a shot on his head, but it's not quick enough. But here we go, Hawkey's going to push around. All that pressure that Elevate have had, just
respecting his opponents. 2 players with more than 30 kills on the side of Epsilon, and on the other end, you just saw Watson get demolished by Oki, who had just scored. And when you look at that gunfight that he lost, it means a lot. It means that, you know, they're not playing the same level that they were on the first map. And you said, you know, they've had some control, but they've had mid-map control that allowed them to push a little further. But they were never able to get a setup that allowed them to go for the 2, that allowed them to go for 1 that wouldn't be intercepted, because they had some great setup to go for the ones. They tried 3 times, and only 1 went in because it was intercepted by Epsilon every time. And just like that, Epsilon are going to walk away with map number 3, 13-2, 2-1 to Epsilon. Chris, incredible scenario. If you told me that at the end of the first map, I wouldn't have believed you.
if I told you that when they were 5-0 down on the S&D, you definitely wouldn't have believed me either. But currently they are 2-1 to the good. And what a performance out of Epsilon there. Look at that scoreboard, though. When we get that one up, wow. Kills all across the board, but Vortex and Hawkey standing out. 33 and 34 apiece from them. Dave, let's have a little nap in between maps.
He's actually doing that. Surely, if it's you know,
what are we saying about the white
stocks?
Maybe
it's something that he started to do at Codex B, and now he's superstitious and he needs to do it every time.
Do you think this is a superstition thing, or do you reckon he's just having a nap, mate?
I don't know. He's done it twice. It's a little weird. He must not be tired. I mean, I wouldn't be able to get a nap after like crazy maps like what happened.
Well, there's the Elevate squad. And they have got Joel in there. They're coach / manager / water boy. He's like Swizz, but much better looking and probably better at his job.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, we saying that. I know he's just underneath me. But guys, we are going to go for a very, very short break. Do not go anywhere. Map number 4 coming up in just a second. Thank you very much, guys. Now, let's see. Map number 4 coming up. It is going to be Epsilon Elevate. And wow, what a series we've had so far.
Craziness.
I think that pretty much describes it. That pretty much describes it. I think the way that this game's went, it just looked up until...
I saw it only happen in movies.
Up until that 6th round in S&D, it was just elevate. Elevate, elevate, elevate. The hard point was convincing. Not even that close. But at this moment in time, you see it, and the way that Epsilon are playing, how can you question them in this hard point now? They're flying through.
They're flying through, and you know, you said the hard point was convincing, but the thing is, if you look at the hard point, at the start, it went 92-92, and then it finished in something like 250-112. So technically, it was 150-20. So if you looked at that first rotation, sure, it wasn't convincing. But then if you look at the second rotation, it was more than convincing. It was a score that I didn't believe was going to be possible between those two teams. I thought Epsilon was going to do much better. And then it goes 5-0 up, like we said, in S&D. And then just a new Epsilon team came in, and it just looked like they were able to shut down Elevate. They weren't able to produce anything. It wasn't even that Elevate wasn't near anymore. It's just that Epsilon, it seems like everything they're trying is working. It's just like the aggression. It is the team that we truly saw at CWL.
Well, I said they have started turning up now. It's taken a little while for them to do so, but moving into this game, let's just have a look at the maps that we've already seen. 250-116, a convincing win for Elevate in that first map. 6-5 for Epsilon. Sounds like a close game. I mean, wow.
No,
yeah, it was
two different S&Ds.
Game of S&D you will see. 5-0 was the score, and that was to Elevate. And Epsilon comes screaming back 6 rounds in a row, and that uplink was all Epsilon. What a clinic they put on there. That first off, probably even like that's the side that we haven't seen as high scoring so far this weekend, the one that they were on. It's usually come from the other side. And they just really, their aggression paid off, and they got that relay set up, picked about 6 points or so off that one, and then just continued to pick away. And they missed a couple of 1-pointers as well, so going into this one, the momentum is way in favor of Epsilon.
And it's crazy to see how inconsistent the players and the teams are. This weekend we've seen so many
so far.
We've seen so many like very large scores in different maps, and players going from huge maps to very bad maps, and it's kind of crazy to see.
Well, moving on into this next map, breakout hard point.
Love it.
I mean, which way do you see this one going now, Jonas?
Epsilon. 250-10. No,
250
maybe not.
to 10.
Maybe not. But
do you think Elevate are going to take it 240 lead and Epsilon might come back, or do you think they're going to switch it around again?
It wouldn't surprise me the slightest.
The way that this game's going, who really knows which way this one's going to go? As we do count down into it, I want some noise in the room, man. This has been the best series we've seen so far this weekend. You know, I was thinking to myself before we seen this series, I was thinking, yeah, okay, it's going to be fantastic. After the first map and then after the first 5 rounds of S&D, I was like, it's going to be another whitewash, man. But wow, what a game we do have in our hands. There's the rig draft on your screens, and nothing too crazy coming out. Do you see really using Centurion, and on the other side of things, we do actually see Overdrive coming out of one of the members of Epsilon. So a slight difference, but nothing too out of the ordinary as we do get into this hardpoint map. It is going to be breakout, and as these guys head towards mid-map, you got to favor Epsilon, but the way that Elevate played that last hardpoint, there is no doubt in my mind that they could definitely take this one too. So Zed and Shawnee to open things up. And this is a scrappy point, isn't it, Jonas?
It is. It is. Definitely hard to control, but great start off for Elevate. It seems like this time around they can shoot back. As I say that, the Watson gets, Zed gets taken down. Watson still alive at the terrible map on uplink. Now he needs to step up if he wants his team to take it on this hardpoint. Really the battle coming in. We talked about this crappy hill, and it's really showing. Not a team really able to get in control as Epsilon trying to apply pressure.
They're punching through. Elevate just set up for the spawn, and Epsilon say no as they push through, pick up the kills, and it is actually Reedy towards the back there. Does get the kill on the Hawkeye, as we can see. Desire and Reedy's make up 2 very, very important kills there. He's going to give one of his teammates the spawn. At least Shawnee's coming through mid-map as well, so they're going to clash towards cell blocks. But Epsilon got a small lead as we go into the second hard point on board with Hawkeye.
Yep, the players from Epsilon just going around the back, making sure they rotate, trying to get the control of that cell block spawn. A very important hill, the money hill on that map that you need to make sure you
from
can
both
control.
sides. We can see on the mini-map in the top left corner, they're pushing in. Hockey is holding the spawn. Let's switch on board with somebody else. Vortex is in there, as is Desire. He makes kills, but the kills come traded away. Watson instead. Two coming in there, and is that Watson starting to heat up a little bit? We haven't seen much from him in the last couple of maps. Watson, another kill on the board there for him. You don't want him to start heating up. 6 and 2 of Watson.
Yeah, huge defense from Elevate. All the players from Epsilon waited for each other at the perfect pinch going in, but they couldn't win the gunfights. Elevate was just rock solid in their nice timing from Zed, going to be able to stay alive to get the scrap points from that cell block art point. Now Elevate is in the lead. They don't have the rotation, however, so it's going to be really once again going in, trying to get the control of the spawn, and he's going to have a gunfight straight away.
Really? Yeah, as I said, push around, just trying to get control of the spawn to try and push towards Graveyard. The thing is, he's going to cause problems there. That last player is going to leave him, and it is actually going to be cleaned up by Desire, so that's really well worked by Epsilon, who are in control of that point. As we can switch on with one of them, it is going to be Shawnee now.
Huge.
Let's see if he can do anything inside there. Not going to happen. The kills come in for Epsilon once again.
Okay, Reedy is all alone. He's going to have to wait for his teammate exactly what he's doing. Very smart play from the veteran on this Elevate team. Now, Epsilon, they've got a great position. When you're behind that crate, the head glitch that you can get makes it very, very easy to defend, and it shows on that Graveyard Hill. Epsilon is coming back into the game. 30 points so far earned onto this hill, and they're going to be back to the game.
Here come Elevate, though. They're stacking in. Shawnee and Zed coming in with a couple of kills. Zed picks up another one. Dave did answer back, but it's not going to quite be enough, and Hokey is in mid-map, not really doing much for his team in that position. He does try and wrap around the thing, and Watson gets him as well. So Elevate going to extend that lead that they did have. Of course, Epsilon did pick up the majority of points at Graveyard, but as we rotate back around towards Commissary, Epsilon are in control of that one as well.
Look where he spawned. He's on the other side of the map. So right now, Elevate,
Desire's the one
they can
in
play
there.
4v3.
Yeah, Desire was the only one in there. Now, we do see Dave and Coat trying to come around the back. He is going to get taken down by Watson. Vortex also coming around there, though. So Hokey also making this back route his own. Pushing the mid-map, going to make one kill. Wouldn't have been aware of that other guy in mid as well, so he's going to have to try and push around. He's going to have to try and help his team out. We can see Elevate are spawning in the Graveyard. Hokey going to push in, should be able to make this kill. Does fall off the map, but makes the kill anyway. Going to make it easier for his team to push in. On what with Shawnee, he's going to try and break. He does have help from one of his teammates, which is Watson, who does trade away, does take down Vortex. But he needs help from the rest of his team. It seems as if Elevate are a little bit one by one at this moment in time. They are in the lead. But,
little scary for Reedy there.
Yeah, does take down Hokey eventually, but gets traded away by Desire. And this has worked out quite nicely for Epsilon. They were behind, still are behind, but they're keeping it pretty level. The difference at this moment in time in and around 10 points, but they're about to draw this one up as we do move back towards Central Rooftop.
Very, very solid play from Epsilon. Very nice gunfights to keep the control of that last hill, making sure they secure the scrap to come back into the game now. First scenario as the first R point. At the end of the first rotation, it's pretty much tied up between those two teams. We know how it went on the first map. On the second rotation, Elevate stepped up and really, really went big to win the first map. Can they do it again? It's not the same Epsilon team again in front of them. And we're going to see exactly how they can play this one out on board with Dave.
Well, let's see if Dave can prevent what happened in the first map from happening again. Of course, as said, Jonas, you're very, very right. They kept it very, very close, and then suddenly Elevate just turned it on. Let's see if Vortex can do anything about it too. On board with him now, he's going to make the kill, and of course this is a bit of a scrappy point. Good kills by Vortex, though. Remind is available for him too. Only Break actually available.
No control of the...
Yeah, that's the thing.
The
Elevate. But Elevate were there last time and really did hold it down again. So they've got to do the same thing again here, Epsilon. They've got to push through.
Hold on.
I don't think they've ever really been in the lead yet.
Vortex looking very dangerous again. 3 kills to his name, and he's been winning 3 big gunfights, and he's going to go around the back. He's going to have 1 gunfight to win. He's finally going to be shut down, but his teammates are here and should be able to get controls. 1 more player at the hill. They need to kill him fast, and they're going to be able to do so. Now, Elevate going to be spawning on the right side of the map. Look at the awareness. Dave's aware, and he's going to be looking at it straight away.
Yeah, he's going to check that right-hand side. Must have been called out by his teammates. Really does go down. Watson come around the back, though. Going to take him down. Kills being traded away. Just about going to go in favour of Elevate, who are going to get control once again. And they've extended that lead just a little bit, and if they can keep a hold of this, they can really extend it. On board with Vortex, trying to do something. Has that rewind available. Choosing not to use it. Does go down. Let's look at the rotation, though. Yeah, Epsilon are going to be down the rotation towards Graveyard. This cavern is where Dave is residing currently. Control waiting on Elevate. Does go taken down, and it is a 30-point lead or so to Elevate, who have extended that down now.
Yeah, Elevate, really nice job on that cell block. able to secure the start in the rotation and break in again to get the last points. And they've also got control of Graveyard, so it's looking again a little like deja vu from the first map. The lead is increasing in favor of Elevate, looking very, very strong, able to secure the rotation and the hard point. Look at it now, Shani applying the pressure, they're in very good positions to defend. Ooh, not looking great for Epsilon there.
Yeah, Zed's in a good position to defend here as well. He should catch somebody out. Dave's going to try and push him around towards Kevin, and surely he would know. Nobody's going to not be watching that, and is Zed going to clean that one up, and Epsilon just going to count their chickens and just move away from that one and forget about it. The lead is
that's 20
barely
points of scrap that they have to give up on.
Yeah, they're going to give it up, but Shawnee currently on a 7 kill streak. Go on both of them, see how close he is to those streaks. Oh, he's nearly fully lit up. He does have the tri-rocket available. I didn't quite catch what else he had there, but didn't quite hit the bombardment as we move around. We're on board with Watson. They're going to push around towards the back, and this is an essential hold for Amazon. They committed so much time to it.
Really waiting for his teammates in the middle of the map. If you can wait for them and go for the pinch, that would be perfect. And Epsilon need pretty much a full 60 on this one if they want to come back into the game. And so far, so good. First pinch comes in, and no player dropped on the Epsilon side once again. Shani.
They've been spawning them outside of showers as well. But here comes the tri-rocket. It's going to take one. Is he going to be able to get the second as well? Currently uncontested, going to fire that into the middle of nowhere. Currently contested. Here we go, though. Shawnee going to push in. Does have Zed and Watson for help. They've already made kills. Vortex takes down Zed. Are they going to be able to push them out? Just about. Shawnee's got work to do, though. Hawkey, we're coming around the back. 200 points nearly for Elevate, but Epsilon have closed that gap just a little bit, and it looks as if they're going to pick up those final few points on Commissary. As we can see, Elevate are retreating back to that mid-map.
Very, very strong last ill again for Epsilon, just like the previous rotation.
That's really well played.
They're going to be within distance. It's not done yet, but they're going to be within distance of this Elevate lineup. Blast rotation comes in 198 to 158, 40 points difference, and Elevate have control of the first ill. It all goes down to there. Will we go to a map 5, or can Epsilon close it out?
Well, Desire holding down mid-map there, does get taken down by Zed. Elevate well and chilly in the driving seat at this moment in time, and they've kept central rooftop since it's spawned, so 20 points or so on that one. But with Hawkey, does get taken down. Shawnee's having a good game here, 23-19 out of him. Looking towards the slaying, it's well in favour of Elevate. The scoreline is showing that as well. Zed firing shots in, having a better of a game as well. Was on a 3 streak, does go down. The kills are just trading in favor of Elevate every single time. Watson's going to pick up 2 there as well. He's going to pick up the 3rd up top as well. Yes, he is the answer to that question. He's got his camo available too. 230 to 161 is the score. They can't quite close it out on the central rooftop, but this is looking like the Elevate we saw in map number 1 in the first 5 rounds of S&D as well. Playing very, very well here, Jonas. 10 seconds remaining for them to close this one out.
Yeah, it should be fairly doable for that Elevate lineup. Epsilon just not able to secure the ills, not able to secure the rotation. Once again, Elevate with the rotation is going to secure this one. 251-61. We're going to map 5, Chris.
Well then, first map 5 of the weekend coming up. And what a point maps. In pretty convincing fashion, it has to be